we're ready to go live. I think I hope we are, because we are live right now. We are currently live. So, hello everybody. Welcome to the live stream. About to open a can. Here we go. Oh, that wasn't loud. I thought it was going to be louder than that.
It sounded like you broke the little tab thing you put on.
Well, it's weird because these are the ones from like Mountain Dew, but they're like energy, like natural energy drinks or whatever. But they have these weird tabs that like you can seal the can again, so it doesn't like go flat or whatever. But I don't really use them, so it doesn't really matter to me, I guess, if you can reseal it or not. Anyway, hello everybody. How are you doing? It is I and Australia Graphs or Canada Graphs, I guess, here.
My name is Canada Graphs. How are you going?
And so, yeah, we're going to go through some of the panels. I know a lot of people have already watched the panels, and I want to address that before we get into it. I know a lot of you guys have already watched the panels, so hopefully you feel like sitting through them with Paigey and myself as we kind of talk a little bit about stuff. We may skip through a bit. I think the Flash panel, do you know exactly when, like where to pick up on that one, or do we just kind of skip through it? I don't know how they broke that one up because I didn't watch that one yet.
It's about halfway through, but they spent a lot of time talking about last season. It's not really worth listening to. I don't think they give too much extra information about. Yeah, actually they don't. It's sort of just them recapping it.
Okay. All right. So the main ones I want to watch today, I think, are Batwoman. We're going to go through that, and particularly because I watched a few bits of it, like I skipped through. And it seems like they are talking a bit about what the character's direction is going to be and stuff like that. So that seems interesting. And then the Superman and Lois one, you said that you've already kind of watched that one, so you're watching it again with me, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that one worth sitting all the way through, or?
Yeah, because they don't recap anything. They actually talk about the show and inspirations for it.
And when we get to the Flash, we'll see where we're at on time and whether or not it's worth it. Because I don't know if there wasn't any big information. I don't know how much we should really talk about that. A couple of things though. I do believe, and we're not going to watch it here, but Doom Patrol was renewed for a third season, right? That came out today.
Yeah, it's probably the most unsurprising thing ever.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering, I was like, well, they wouldn't have a panel unless they were getting renewed.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is that it was announced before Fandom. But I guess because it's not live, they may as well just release it anyway. I don't think it really matters. They're probably better off jumping on it before that instead of it. People watching the panel going, "Oh, it got renewed. There's an announcement," and then like they jump on it like an hour later or something like that. They're better off getting it on it early.
So I wasn't really shocked. I kind of felt like they were waiting to renew it for Fandom, but let's talk about some of the problems with Fandom before we watch a couple of these panels. So there's nothing trending today from Fandom. I didn't see anything on trending from any of the shows. So I'm going to assume it was a mistake, I think, for them to do it the way they did it. I think it should have still been done the way the previous one was done. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Well, I disagree because there was no reveals. So there'd be no point.
Knowing that now, I guess, after seeing the panels, maybe. But I
actually think it's trending more now because people can just watch what they want. They can tweet about it when they want at once. So people can go watch the Flash panel, then the Superman Lois panel, and the Batwoman panel, and they're all tweeting about Fandom at the one time to make it trending. But before, if they did a live stream, you might have to sit there and watch Batwoman. You might not be interested. You might have to watch Black Lightning. You might not be interested in Flash. Not interested.
I actually think that splitting them up was the worst thing to happen for the shows because the shows could have used the bolstering from the other.
What they should have done is that it should have been one big live stream thing. And I'm not. It sounds contradictory because I just said it's working because it's not a live stream. But if it should have been over a 2 or 3 day period, and it's a live stream. But so you might have Wonder Woman, then you might then have Flash and Superman, then you'll jump into Suicide Squad panel or something. Like break it up so it wasn't just movie. It was like movie, a couple TV shows, movie, a couple of TV shows, and then spread that over a 3 day period. So you might have Wonder Woman and Suicide Squad and Black Adam as 3 movies on one day, and in between all of them is some TV stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing is, in a perfect world, they the shows would have started filming and stuff like that, and they would have all had footage to show. Yeah. But unfortunately, that's just not going to happen. Like the Flash.
I guess the fan in me wants to see the shows trending as much as the movies, but I feel like the movies sort of overcrowded the TV shows because they had more content to show because the movies were done filming pretty much, or most of the movies were done filming.
I think they realized that this was more for the fans. This second one, while the first one was more of a commercial thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like really, your average person isn't going to be tuning into the second one. It's going to be a person that actually is a fan of DC Comics and stuff like that material. While in the first part, it's just the general consumer that wants to watch the Batman trailer, and that's about it.
Yeah. Gary swooping in right away. Is the Flash getting delayed later than January? Well, I haven't seen the panel yet, so I don't know how to answer that.
Yeah, Gary, they actually revealed. You're not going to like it. December 2023. In for a wait.
It just keeps getting pushed back.
I
don't know what to do anymore.
It's terrible.
Some people are saying that they're having issues with the black screen. It must be YouTube because it's not on our side, and other people are able to see us. So, and somebody asked about copyright. As far as I know, copyright doesn't. There's nothing in it that people care about. When I watch the stream, so I'm going to leave it on the actual screen so that.
But it's important to remember the only reason that like the stream last time got cut wasn't because of the content shown. It was because of freaking Hallelujah.
Yeah, it was the song.
It was the song. Like the song was, and like if you go back like to whenever it was, like 3 weeks ago, and those streams, they all cut off during the Snyder panel or during the Snyder trailer.
It's so weird. It's almost like they were sitting there waiting, and then it was like, bam.
Well, I think it's just automatic detection. You get it like when you're
doing a trailer reaction,
like when a trailer comes out. Sometimes like Disney used to always do it.
Yeah,
and like your video would get like banned before it even goes live because it just sends the trailer in there.
So the thing is that what people don't really, I mean, I guess some people do realize it, is that the copyright laws are very antiquated. The DMCA process is wrong. Like there's so many problems when it comes to like the internet and how they handle copyright that computers do it all. And so they're going to, as soon as a song comes on, all it needs is 4 or 5 notes of that song. And it's like, bam, it gets you every single time. So also Wonder Woman. Yeah, somebody was commenting about that. It looks like Wonder Woman's getting pushed back again. Are you surprised by this at all, or?
Not really. I was sort of because what would be that just over about 2.5 weeks away now from it coming out. If it was staying there, so not too surprised. It's annoying, but I'm not surprised at all.
I will say I went to the theaters to see New Mutants, and there was like 4 people in the theater with me. And they were all like sitting way apart. And you know, the theater didn't have to really do anything. Like basically people just spaced out on their own, I guess. And it was weird being back because I hadn't been to a theater since February. Have you been back to the movies at all since?
I went and saw Tenet, and I saw it on a Sunday night, and there was like 3 or 4 people in there.
Yeah,
but that's in Australia, and I go to a dead cinema anyway. Like no one goes there, which is good.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like it was a little surreal being back at theaters because I've never gone like 5 months without seeing a movie. It's really strange. New Mutants is hot garbage. I didn't really have a problem with it. I mean, it wasn't the best. Not every movie has to be perfect. A movie doesn't have to be great because it's great. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Streamlabs just refreshed on me there. That was weird.
I was wondering, you went into like that.
Like, yeah, that's really strange.
Noise.
Yeah. Well, like the whole screen refreshed on me. So
Epic meme.
That's kind of. Let's hope that this doesn't become an ongoing problem while we're trying to do this. So yeah, I mean, I feel like a movie. It's all right for a movie to be okay. You know. So that's how I feel. I didn't think it was hot garbage. Somebody asked about my Lucifer review. I was going to put it out today, but I felt like it was kind of. With all the other stuff going on, I didn't want to throw that up as well. So it'll probably go out tomorrow or at the latest Monday. It'll definitely be out in the next couple days. It's already done. Let's see. Gary has another super chat here. Eric said he didn't know when. I just thought about something. If Flash is 17 this season, they make it to 150th episode. Do they do something special for 150 or is it just 200? I don't even know.
It depends. It depends on the show. It's not as big as your 100th. Like the Arrow for its 150th did like that documentary episode, if you remember. So
one that I was like really mad about, and it ended up actually being a really good episode, I think. So.
It just depends. Like they could just do it where it's like they could just make it where it's like a reverse Flash episode or something like that. The thing is, if it's its finale, I don't see them doing anything special. But if it's so, you probably wouldn't want it to be on the finale.
Maddie, he wants me to do the chalk. We'll have to wait to the end to do a chalk. You can't do it at the beginning. I mean, it ruins all the hype if you do it right at the beginning. Think Noodle here with this edge. Like I should be surprised that somebody's talking about this. Did you see that Kiersey Clemens, who plays Iris in Snyder Cut, came out and supported Ray too? I don't know if she's just saying that since she wasn't there for the reshoots. That's the thing is right now we're seeing support from people that weren't at the reshoots.
Yeah, it's weird, and even like Momoa wasn't even there for that many of the reshoots because I don't know if people realize this, but when the reshoots were happening, you know what movie literally started filming when the reshoots started filming? Aquaman.
Yeah,
in Australia, 14 hours flight from LA, 20 hours from London. So if you actually look at the theatrical cut, there's not a lot of reshot Momoa stuff there. A lot of it's from the Snyder cut. So there's actually one character where most of the stuff there is Snyder. It's probably Momoa. I can only think of maybe 2 or 3 things which would have been reshoots with him. And Kiersey Clemens, like the thing is, the woman who plays Cyborg's mom and Kiersey Clemens, who have both tweeted out, weren't there for reshoots. So yeah, I don't know. It's a bit confusing, that whole thing.
Yeah,
I'm surprised Ray didn't. I'm honestly shocked Ray didn't tweet out anything today. Maybe it's still early, still got time.
Yeah. So Laura, if it's does that mean it's your birthday? I don't know. If it is, happy birthday. Dog Matt, love your content. Keep it up. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So we also had the news that kind of overshadowed everything, which was the Chris Evans news. I don't want to talk about it because I'll get demonetized. But if you go on Twitter and you look, you'll see what it's about. And all I'm going to say is he's lucky this happened after he's already done all of his stuff, because this might be tough to to walk back, I guess. Yeah. Any thoughts on that? I mean, huge mistake. Like
I didn't even know what it was. I saw Chris Evans was trending, but it wasn't on my homepage. So obviously I'm not following the right people.
Yeah, it was trending on mine. It was so weird. I guess because I follow him. That's probably why. I don't know. Anything else you want to talk about before we jump into the Batwoman panel? I don't know if there's anything.
Did you listen to that Junkie XL score?
I did. That's the other bit. We'll talk about that too. Let's talk about that quickly. So Junkie XL released his what is it, Justice League theme, I guess is what you call it.
I guess it's a theme. Yeah, I guess you'd call it that.
Yeah. Why do it on the weekend while the other shows are
No, it was part of the Insiderverse, and someone's put it out there early. So I don't know. Someone's got it as an exclusive thing.
Oh, okay, so the actual release wasn't intentional. Like somebody got it early.
Yeah, it was like one of those things where I got, because by the way, for those that didn't know, I think within like the half an hour period of Fandom starting, you could start watching the panels. I was on there and it showed up and I could click on things. So I clicked on Watchverse, I got into it, and I would have been able to start watching the Batwoman panel like 5 minutes early. And I only jumped on my computer about like 7 minutes to go until it started, and then I found out that it was working for like half an hour before. Like that's how weird the release was, because I guess there was no live stream, so there was no dedicated start time. So I think that's what happened there. So people probably jumped to that first, and also because the Watchverse was sort of acting up, only some things were working. I'm assuming the Insiderverse and Newverse, all that stuff there. But anyway, that theme wasn't a very good Justice League theme. I'm not going to lie.
I know.
If someone said, "Hey, this is the Justice League theme," I'll listen to it. Oh, seriously? Like if you compare, I know I'm like a big person who doesn't like to compare, but I think in this instance, just due to the hype it's getting, compare that to the Avengers theme.
Yeah.
It's like comparing chalk to a floss. You know what I mean? It's not good.
Yeah. We're gonna watch the Superman and Lois panel here. I'm not gonna respond to that one, but Gary here has a 499 super chat. In that article, what did Eric mean when he does not know when in 2021 does that mean Flash is getting delayed later than January? He's I don't really know what the rest of that is.
He's sangria.
I'm hoping he means Eric Wallace, because I didn't say any of that.
He means you. He means Eric.
I don't.
And your last name is Men.
Okay, all right. I don't know how to answer that one, Gary. We will.
I don't think he said that. I watched the panel. I didn't even know it.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, you watched it. I haven't watched it yet, so I didn't know if he actually.
Yeah, I
said
would have
that or
written
not.
in my notes. Like, did he say it? I'm forgetting about it.
Somebody was also talking about the legend
okay.
panels mentioning Green Lanterns. Is that true? I didn't watch the. Obviously, didn't
Oh,
watch
it's because
Legend
it's
panels.
space stuffing. I don't expect a
Oh.
Green Lantern showing up. I just know
If you do,
it
it will be the silliest Green Lantern we've ever had. I'm pretty sure.
I think the only news that came out of Legends, they announced the new casting.
Yeah. So, all right, we are going to watch the Batwoman panel. This is a long one, so people are saying it's lagging. I don't know what to do because it's clearly not for me.
I'm just looking at them. I'm just opening it up on the.
See what it's doing over on YouTube.
Doesn't seem to be lagging for me.
Okay, so it must be a isolated thing with certain people.
I'm just letting it play for a bit. It doesn't seem to be lagging.
Okay.
Yeah, you're moving.
Gary here with the 199 super. Maybe we will get to the panel eventually. I think. Gary Gamma with the 199 super chat. Did you see the article on Twitter about production? No. Is there something big that came out? Usually if something like that.
I think it says ones from a couple of days ago.
Okay. I didn't see it. If I didn't see it and no one notified me of it, then it's probably not a big deal. I'm gonna guess. If it's not from today, if it's from a few days ago. So unless you have a specific thing, maybe that's what he's talking about with the Eric Wallace comment. Not sure. Thank you for the super chat, Gary. I don't understand what that is or what that means. The Dogmat $5 super chat and a Team Airrick member. Thank you so much. What show are you the most excited for? I would say at this point, probably Superman and Lois, and then The Flash and Batwoman. Those are probably my top three now that we're getting more information about them. So I think Superman and Lois is going to be pretty interesting. So, all right, let's do this. Let's watch this. And you guys let me know how the audio is. And, yeah, all that good stuff. This is the Batwoman panel.
Welcome to DC Fandom. My name is Trish Bendix. I'm a regular contributor with the New York Times. You're watching the Batwoman panel, and I'm excited.
I don't think I've ever seen this host before on anything.
The world will have to meet the new Batwoman
random.
herself. But first, we'll be speaking with the cast about an incredible, action-packed first season on the CW.
Oh, really? A recap of the first season? This should be good.
I'm gonna show Kate.
Watch, I'm gonna get shut down because of this music now. It's gonna happen. I guess because maybe they're going to continue some of these storylines. I don't really see a point in recapping all of this. Maybe it's to fill up.
They literally didn't show Ruby Rise on that.
I'd like to bring in executive producer Caroline Dries.
Here's Caroline Dries. Oh, I thought it was Dries. It's Dries.
Along with the show stars Rachel Skarsten as Kate Kane's sister Beth,
okay,
and maniacal leader of the Wonderland gang Alice.
Probably the best character in season 1.
Officer and Kate Kane love interest Sophie Moore.
Sophie's there.
As Wayne Enterprises go-to.
Oh wow, he's got the facial hair going on.
King is socialite do-gooder and valued member of the Bat Team, Mary Hamilton.
Again, she's lucky that she got on the team right before the show switched up.
I would say the same, but they promoted Julia Pennyworth to a series regular.
Let's just kick off. I'd love to hear from you all about what the fan reaction has been like. It was a lengthy season, and I'm sure you've heard from all different kinds of people. So who wants to kick it off?
It was an amazing first season, and we all had such a good time.
Amazing. I don't know if would you use that word?
Supportive since day one, and they continue to be supportive.
Okay.
I'm glad that we got to end the first season on such a cool note. Because
I will say he was one of the better characters.
Couple months.
So maybe his
journey.
I must say,
really
he is flexing with the AirPods.
The whole universe.
Yeah, that's true.
I think she has the same TV as me.
Yeah, one of us individually.
Oh, so are you flexing with her TV?
Yeah, just to get to be a
I don't know. It's either a flex for me or a bit of a hey, upgrade. You got the money to her.
Yeah, and I will say, after one whole season with that under our belts, I feel definitely excited to be going into season 2.
Wow, that's a very open top.
Sort of established.
It looks a little weird in the framing of the shot.
Yeah, just being a part of the whole Gotham world has just been absolutely so much fun. But the impact that the show is making.
Well, I like her hair.
It's just been like the extra. It's just.
Did they do this in quarantine? No, they wouldn't. Maybe they did.
It's so amazing.
Probably, but I think her hair looks great.
We're making an impact and we're doing some groundbreaking things. So it's awesome.
I'm just so proud of our cast. I think
they did. I think they did this in quarantine.
Of Gotham City,
the Batman lore, the Batcave, the Bat gadgets, all of that comes with the responsibility that comes with a show that people are kind of already familiar with that world. And just getting
Now she's
able
been
to
with the
create
show
this
since
really rich
like
world of
pre-production, right?
characters
She's
and
been
having
around
these
since
actors
before
take
season
on these
1.
roles
She's not
and
new,
make them
correct?
their own.
Carol
Carol
Andrews.
Andrews.
Rewarding.
No,
Like
she
Megan
is the
said, the
showrunner. She's
extra
like
Okay.
the
of the fans just kind of
like the
feeling like we're doing
Kreisberg, I guess you
something
could
good
say.
for the world was unexpected and really appreciated. So I'm just like so grateful that we're here for season 2.
Yeah, and for Greg Berlanti and I think, look, we're so fortunate. We
She's
get to
like
really play,
Berlanti's
in this world
second-hand
quite a bit,
person.
and don't take it for
Okay.
granted,
Second in
but
charge.
Batwoman
This-
is
this
just an
lady here, Sarah
incredible
Schechter?
addition.
Yeah.
I love the darkness.
She pretty
of
much handles
it. I love
Berlanti like
the
she's pretty
groundedness
much
and
like
obviously everything it has
handles a
to
lot of the
say,
stuff
and this
Berlanti
cast
used to
is
handle
just
because Berlanti
incredible.
does so
Really
much
love it.
now.
Was there anything particularly surprising for any of you, that you got to do, or even that you learned about your character or yourself through the process of season 1? And also, Caroline and Sarah, if you want to speak to writing.
I
and
find it a
creating
little
this
weird
world,
that
like
if they're
there
going
was
to
anything that
recap season
surprised
1,
you
why
that,
is Ruby
maybe
Rose
didn't
not in
intend
this
to
call?
happen, but
If there was no
came
bad
about
blood, you
somehow
think she would at
throughout
least
season
show
1.
up to like
I definitely didn't
wish
think
them
we could
well.
use Batman.
I think it
Pass
can
the
just be.
torch.
I think it's probably safer to not have her
I
there.
mean,
Bruce Wayne,
But it's just a bit awkward
It
when
was-
they have to pretty much
the
reference
first
everything
shot-
and not reference
His very
Kate
first shot of
overly.
the show
Mm.
was the silhouette of Batman, which I was told
They're talking
every
about
step of the
Batman
way
more than
we're not allowed to
Batwoman.
do.
Like
And
they're literally
somehow
ignoring
I'm on set
Kate
and, like,
here.
I was
Have they even
checking
talked about
during
Kate at all?
the footage from Video Village, and I was like, here's our first shot, and it was actually Batman. And so it was like so cool. And then we ended, our last shot was Batman. The other thing that just kind of surprised me was
They're still
how
talking about
we
Batman.
stayed true
This
to
is
the family
hilarious.
dynamic of the show, and how we have the Bat family and we have the Kane family and we have the Crows family, and that was really empowering and enriching, and it was just felt like a regular drama, and then it was in this heightened world of Gotham that allowed us to have high stakes.
Yeah, I definitely say the characters were my biggest surprise. I mean, Hush is such an incredible
OBS
huge
Yeah.
StreamYard is better than
So being
OBS
able to
for
use
just
him and use
doing
him for
basic
multiple
streaming
episodes, like
functions.
that was amazing.
This is the
And
first
for
time we've
Luke
had
Fox
major issues with
specifically,
it.
I didn't expect in season
And
1.
I don't
that
even
I'd
know
be
if it's
able
their
to
fault or if
go
it's
to
YouTube's
such
fault.
deep emotional lengths to go from like bawling, crying in the rain with
I would say
confronting
Luke's story was
my
probably
alleged
one of the
father's
best
killer in
stories
one
next to
episode, and then,
Alice's in the first season.
attacking someone
Mhm.
with a gun in the next episode. It's just it went from 0 to 100 so quickly, and that was very cool. So I'm really excited to see what happens to them in the next season, because in this season we get to see so many different facets of him in those 20 episodes.
I feel really lucky and special that we invested in the Kane family, and I feel really lucky that someone who looks like me gets to be a part of telling sort of family dynamic.
What do you think of the Mary
And we got to
character?
explore
Did
really
you
modern
enjoy
family
her in
and
first
almost
season or
ground the
no?
show in that way? And
I think she's probably the most
really
consistent
am
character in regards to
interested see where that
likability.
goes, and
So was Luke. Probably
having
them
to lose
two.
a parent just
When I watched the trailer and
pretty
even the
early on
pilot
in
or
the
half the
season
pilot, I was
was
concerned she was going to be annoying.
something
But
and a loss that
early
I was
on, like I think it might have
most
been in episode
glad
1
and
towards
I
the end,
felt
or at least in
rewarded
episode
that the
2.
fans felt as though
She was
it paid
fine.
off and they felt for
If not,
Mary. So
pretty
I
good.
think that goes to show the work.
I just
that
noticed
everyone sort of
Javicia
put
isn't
in
there.
to establish those really
May.
intimate dynamics really, really quickly.
Definitely.
No, I
curious
noticed
about,
Javicia Leslie
specific
isn't on the
family
panel.
actions
Oh.
that you've heard that were
She comes in
maybe
after they
just
discuss
something
season
that
1.
it didn't
Oh,
occur to
yeah.
you, or you didn't necessarily see.
Yeah, I thought you said
in your
VCs
character
in
or
a voice
yourself, or
chat
that you didn't
for
expect for
me,
people
and I
to
was
pick
like,
up on.
hold
Was there
on, you
anything
just
that you
replied to
heard
me.
that you were like, oh yeah, I guess I never
Oh
thought about it.
yeah, everybody always asks me to do my evil laugh, and I think it
I
might
like
just
her
be my
apartment.
laugh.
Like honestly, that's a good shot.
I think she has the same couch as
I
me.
didn't specifically like.
Is that your
laugh.
apartment?
I just
Is that
laughed.
your
It's not my
place?
apartment, but it feels like she's either copied my style or
This is, like,
I've somehow
evil
copied
laugh
her.
that I
It's
have.
crazy that you both live in
I just-
Tasmania.
you're gonna
That's
my
awesome.
Natural laugh.
Oh, you look like Wolster's ass.
Speaking of Alice, I don't expect some of the fans to like want her to win so bad. Like I feel like
Mhm.
no matter what Alice does, the fans are like, "Yeah, more of that. You deserve it all. Burn it all down."
Well, it is 2020.
Way to
I
be
guess what was
edgy.
kind of- I mean,
Way to be
kind of
edgy,
like
Sarah.
Is that an
know
Eric
of these
joke?
things, but what was really
It
just
was
kind
close.
of interesting with Sophie
Not quite
was
as
just
edgy
the
as me, but
conversations
close.
that it started to spark. Seeing the reaction from
a lot of the fans of their response of how Sophie handled.
You know, I
situation
kind of
with
hope
Kate
that Sophie
versus
gets a
people
better
who
story
understood
in
why
this
she
in
did
season
it.
2 because she was
Obviously,
kind of
there's, you
just
know,
the love
much
interest.
controversy just
They didn't really
you
give
know,
her
with
much
that in and of
else, and I
itself,
think
but
Except that
it
one
sparked
episode
some
with their
really good
mom. That was
conversation.
about
yeah,
it.
I think
And
she could have a really
of course,
interesting
you know,
story.
being in
I
that
actually wouldn't have
position is kinda
minded Sophie
challenging. It's
becoming
just like, don't be
Batwoman.
mad
I
at
think that
me.
would have been fine with me
But
too.
it's getting people to ask questions. It's getting
Yeah, I
people
guess that could have worked.
to question their own beliefs, like why that would be an issue. Like why would you be mad
I
at
have a
somebody?
feeling that
Like, you know, so I love
they're really
getting
going to go
people
heavy on
to
her and that Julia's relationship.
want to educate
Now that
themselves.
she's a series regular,
Yeah, and they're
Julia.
going to really
Had an
make.
idea
But then
of
again,
how
they could
much
just really
an
focus on
ally
the
Mary
crows, have a
was,
crow
but
storyline,
I
which
think
then.
I
So I'd be interested to see how they
really
handle it.
discovered that and found out about that, especially with her relationship with all of these characters. I feel like she's really rooting.
We haven't even seen
for
a
everyone,
picture
except
of
for
Kate.
Alice, which
Not
makes
one
for,
shot of Kate.
a good.
I just
Hmm.
find
for
that
good
very
TV, I guess,
weird.
because everybody's rooting for Alice too, but they're torn.
I didn't expect so many Luke and Mary ship tweets. They've been shipping
Oh
these characters.
yeah.
But like,
Can I say I'm
Oh,
a fan
was
of
there?
Really, you're surprised?
Aren't you a
I
part of
don't-
that?
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
Absolutely.
I'm on that bandwagon.
I'm part of the
I came up with
subreddit
Camel Fox
for that
myself,
ship.
and I
You
appreciate
did?
it.
No, you
I love
didn't.
it.
You
I
did.
did, yeah. Camel Fox I made up, yeah. All the fans
It's
trying to figure
good.
it out, and I came up with Camel Fox, and it became the thing, which is so cool. But like, it happened so early. It was like episode 3, maybe.
They're trying to
and
deviate
I
from
think they
Kate,
just
but I
figured
mean,
out, like,
Kate
oh,
is the
smart kid's
core
smart kid,
of
they should
their
be together.
story.
And on episode 5,
It's hard to
whenever Luke and
deviate
Mary
from that
met,
without.
all
I
the
mean, you
fans
can't
were like,
completely
"This is
ignore
it.
her.
They have to date."
Season 2 will be taking a very different turn with the introduction of a new Batwoman. And I'm so thrilled to be able to bring to you now. You might have seen her on God Friend.
Oh, here we go.
On BET's The Family Business.
Oh, that's right. She was on
And
God
now
Friend of Me.
she's
I forgot about
CW
that.
Ryan Wilder, aka
Welcome,
the new Batwoman,
Airrick.
Tia Leslie, everyone.
Yay!
That's what I.
Yeah, what up?
Oh my goodness, we're so
Hello.
excited to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, everyone.
Well, we want to welcome you officially. I mean, I'm not even a part of the Batwoman family, but I feel like they feel like I can
Welcome.
extend the
We
welcome
can't-
to you right now.
Tom, we
Everyone's
can't go
so excited
full
to
screen.
meet you
That
for
will
the
definitely
first
get
time.
me
I'm
copyright
still in
struck.
shock, too.
I don't know
But
why
I'm
you need a
actually
full
in the
screen.
middle
Are you
of
watching on a
praying and
freaking
meditating 'cause I
Digimon
needed something
screen,
just to
Tom?
calm the anxiety.
How
'cause
small
it
is your
had been-
screen?
we were waiting for a while to
This
find
panel
out,
is
and,
wired.
And so
She
I
seems really
literally had
excited coming
just
into this
finished
call. Maybe this
praying.
isn't this her
And
first like
I looked
official
over, and it
time
was
talking
my
about
manager.
Batwoman?
And in my
No, she was
mind,
in a lot
I
of. She
knew.
was
I
in
was
like 3 panels
telling-
on the
tell
first
me I
one
didn't get
a
it.
couple weekends ago.
Damn it!
Yeah,
She's
but I
wearing
mean,
the
it was all
exact same.
it was all filmed at the same time. I mean, right? Like all
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
stuff.
I don't know which one she went on first. She must have done like 4 or 5 panels within like the one day.
Wow. So, what were the initial sort of feelings? Because it's a big role, and you're starting in a second season of a show that's established. Like, tell us a little bit
Well, by the way,
how
I
are you
think
feeling right
yesterday,
now?
or it might be
kind of,
today. Actually, I think it was
excitement did you
yesterday.
have specifically to
She
play a
filmed her
character like
first day
Ryan
in the
Wilder
suit.
and Batwoman.
So I was thinking that they
You
might
know,
have released the
when I
suit
read
picture
the
today.
character description,
But
Yeah.
why
it was
wouldn't you?
definitely-
If there's any day to do it, wouldn't you do it on Fandom Day?
Yeah.
It's like goofy meets
Apparently not.
badass meets a person that doesn't like to be told what to do, a person that does not like to follow the rules. It's really hard for me.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
but
that's very similar.
Okay, well, you
right,
have to
right,
look this way
exactly.
as
That sounds a
goofy
bit like
versus
Kate to me.
what you
I
have
mean,
to
I do
do
like
when
the
you're
other
an
aspects of her
actress and you come to
personality, but
present
that's
yourself. And
very
so I love
Kate,
the fact
like
that
the
Ryan is
Rage
just
Against the
who I
Machine
am.
type
Just
character.
a hot mess. And I'm really into action. Like, this has literally been my dream. It's so funny because in May I did an interview and I said, well, one of my future goals and one of my
I'm guessing on
biggest
God
dreams
Friend of
is
Me,
to
she didn't get a lot of
become
action
a
shots.
superhero.
I don't even know what
I
that show
wanted
was
to
about,
be-
honestly.
That show was like, I
No,
think, like
a
they
black
add God on
superhero. You don't
Facebook
get
or
to see
some
that
crap.
often. And then a month later, I become the first Black Batwoman. So I think that
Yeah.
that's insane. And it
Yeah.
kinda
She's got
really,
really good energy. I actually feel right now already that I think I'm
really,
gonna like her
hits the
more than
nail on the
Ruby
head when it
Rose.
says, like,
Yeah, it depends
speak
what the
your dreams,
character's interpretation is as well.
speak your affirmations,
Mm.
and truly just know that whatever you really want to do and you continue to go towards it, it can happen. I also I love that it's action. Like, I love that I get to kick ass. I'm
So
really into Muay
another
Thai.
benefit she has is
I
she's
started
actually a
Muay Thai,
trained
2
like
years
fighter,
ago, but
right?
then when
Yeah, I
had
was
been
gonna
in New
say
York for God
Muay
Friend of
Thai, I
Me,
think
I
it
just
is.
yeah. So she's coming into
kickboxing,
this
those
with
classes
like
are, like, a lot
already
easier.
a background
So I
in
was, like,
combat, so that
letting
should be
off
really
all
good.
of my stress on the bag instead of on a person. Able to do that every day on set is going to be super dope.
Amazing. And, I'm curious too, as a Black woman, as a bisexual woman who's stepping into this role, taking on an iconic character that we celebrate because she's a part of the LGBTQ community.
So in the
Especially, like
show,
you
she's
mentioned,
still going to
being
be,
a
is
Black
she going to
woman
be
to take on
bisexual in the show or
superhero
she going to be a
So
lesbian?
Javacia Leslie is bisexual. Kate,
Yeah, I know. I'm just wondering if the
I think
character's gonna
I think Ryan is still just a
so
lesbian.
excited and they couldn't have been
Okay.
more thrilled
Like
to see
like
you
Kay
stepping
was,
into
I
the role.
think,
So
Alright.
from
I'm
memory.
curious
Yeah, I was a little
Like
bit
character
confused.
stuff.
from other
Yeah.
people, and does that?
I think,
does
yeah, I
that
think
add
it's
any stress,
confusing
or
because
does
in
it just
the
add to the
No,
excitement?
Yeah.
interviews they refer to
Honestly, it's
bisexuality,
both
but I think
an
that's just
honor.
specifically to
It's
Javacia.
funny
Okay.
because I was looking on Instagram and I was just kind of scrolling through like new followers, and I saw all these rainbows in the bio, and I just felt like a representation.
Isn't that-
felt like
So
I felt like exactly.
it must
what
have been
I've
a
always
completely
wanted to
different
be, which is
audience.
a
Like,
role model.
I feel like
I
if you
feel
are an
honored.
out
I feel
bisexual
excited. I
person,
feel like there's
being
so
on a
many
show
little
about God
Javicias,
Friend of Me might be a
you
bit
know,
a
that
big
don't have
struggle, like
voices,
to
little-
get a
little
fan
Black
base
girls
with
that
that.
didn't have
Maybe
a
I'm just
voice,
assuming
little
too much there, but I feel like
bisexual,
this is going to
bi-curious,
be
lesbian,
a bit
gay,
more freeing for
everything that
her
just didn't
as an
have
I think
voices.
I think it's
I
more
feel
just portraying
to be able to
a
be
character.
a voice for
You know what I
my
mean? Like
community.
you could probably
And
be a
the
part of the
entirety of my
LGBT community,
community.
but like
And
you
then
get a
to
lot of
play
followers
character
if you
that
play a
represents my
character that
community in the
people
same
sort of
way, like that's not
look
a
up
common
to and
thing
stuff
as
like
an
that.
actress to also to be a part of a community and play a character of a community. It feels really powerful.
I agree,
And I feel
Tomo.
like with
Thank you for the super
everything that's
chat.
going on right now, this is what we need. We need to see
Floss on the
representation.
Peters.
And I'm
Eric.
so thankful to Caroline.
I might
so
say Eric
thankful
and
to
Javacia
Sarah.
have a lot in
I'm
common.
So thankful
Yeah.
Based off
I'll take that. I'll take
Berlanti
that.
and everyone at WB,
the
because
descriptions
this
given.
is what's needed. Not
I wish
just
I
for
could
me.
be
I'm
a
looking at the
superhero on a
entire
TV
cast
show.
of Batwoman, and it is just
You're a
it is
superhero in a box
representation.
instead.
I'm like,
Right,
my
every
mom
other
and I
floor.
are sitting in the living room. We're just watching the show, and we're like, oh my goodness! It's beautiful. You get characters of all different races and ethnicities, and
I hope
it's
that
just,
this.
it's not
So
common, and
I
I'm
like
really
Javicia's
honored
energy.
to be a part of
I
it.
hope that her
So,
character
yeah, I'm excited. Sorry, I'm very excited.
in the show
Yeah.
carries the same type of energy. You know what I mean? Like I hope that it's not gonna go
No,
back
that's
to like what
perfect,
Kate
because
was,
now we're
and that
going
she's
to
a much
let
better character than that.
Your new family let loose on you and ask you a couple of questions to get to know you.
And side note, speaking of family, I am so honored to have been a part, like to join a family that was so welcoming. Like when I went
That's good.
onto Instagram, like Grant Gustin has me on his Instagram, and like, oh, this is amazing.
Okay, so
Oh,
who wants
God.
to start?
Well, to be
I think
fair, they
we,
would have been told to do
you know,
it.
let's do some
Yeah, I
intro
know,
a
but
little
that's
bit.
still
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Yo, we love you so much. You're so great. You're just so nice and cool.
so. Wait, they hadn't
okay,
actually
so
filmed
cool
when this was
because
recorded, right?
Brandon-
This
No,
was-
I think they were all in
this was-
quarantine. I know Javacia was in quarantine. I know for a
Yes.
fact she was there, but I think she might have got there earlier
Mm.
than them because I think she might have to do extra stuff. But I
Yeah, we
think
were
by
all
the look of it,
there
at
when
least
you joined, so it's like it just
all of
really
them
cements
are
it
in
now that you're here.
quarantine.
My
Um,
question is because of your shirt and your plant, is your
Yeah.
favorite color green or no?
My favorite color is actually blue.
That's my favorite color.
Ooh. Is that a hit?
So who
the
was
new
your
Batwoman suit's
biggest
gonna have blue in it?
influence, growing up?
I am obsessed with Eartha Kitt.
Screen Rant, get on
I'm
that article
obsessed
right
with Nina
now.
Simone.
We got this
I
covered.
am obsessed
New bat
with
suit is
Kerry
blue.
Washington. Obsessed
Yes.
with, of course.
Do you think they're going to try and
Reese
build a
Witherspoon.
romantic
Just
triangle
actresses that
between
really transform,
Ryan,
and then
Sophie,
not
and
only
Julia?
did they just
Or no?
transform, but they ended
I
up
hope
using
not.
their
Because just be
platform to
like
take
retreading
everything
the Kate
further, not
stuff.
just themselves, but
Yeah.
to create opportunity for others.
And also, how would
One of
she
my
get
main
in the
reasons for
fold with
being
them?
obsessed
Unless it was
Eartha
just
Kitt
like they
and
were
Nina Simone
attracted
is
to
because they use
Batwoman.
their art for
Yeah.
activism. And I just think
Yeah.
that that's
Yeah.
so important.
Then again, so would
Those are
Sophie
like my
and
huge influences.
Batwoman. I don't know.
Nice.
Do you do anything outside of acting? Like, is Muay Thai like your main hobby, or do you write? Do you sing?
So I tap. I tap.
Yeah.
Tap dancing episode confirmed. We're going to get a tap
So,
dancing episode of
so
Batwoman.
Batwoman's gonna need tap boots.
Yes,
That'll work.
Can you imagine an all dance episode that like the duet, but every character's doing like some sort of dancing style or something, like the mambo and all that.
Which I don't think that that's going to happen now.
Oh wow!
I'm an insane plant mom. This is Diana Ross.
Look at Everett.
And
All hail
inside of
Bebo.
Diana
I blame
Ross's
you for this,
plot is
Paigey.
Tracy.
I blame you for these kinds of super chats.
I love that you named them.
Oh my
That's so
God.
cute.
It is interesting to see the people that wear AirPods and people that wear the wide earphones.
Jimi Hendrix. We have Huey P. Newton. over there is Marvin Gaye.
Thank you for the super chat,
Cher.
Everett.
Hey,
I'm obsessed. You and Rachel are a match made in heaven.
you're gonna get along very well.
I know.
Oh,
Rachel
Jesus,
says
look at
the
what
dog,
Vasily
I have my
posted.
Buddha Buddha over
I
there
hope that's not
somewhere.
true.
So yeah, I'm a huge like nature plant. Fanatic.
Amazing.
What made you want to be an actress?
Because I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. I wanted to do everything in the world. So I was just like, well, how about I'm an actress and I can just play everything in the world. So it's like, I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a professional cheerleader. I wanted to be a writer. There was just so many things that I wanted to do. And I'm like, and I'm a Gemini, so it's just like there's no way I can just settle on one thing. So
That sounds
why
like me
even
trying to
keep
figure out what I
going
want to
with it?
eat.
Just be an actress. And you
I
can
want
literally do
pizza.
anything
I
you
want
wanna do.
burgers.
DJ, you had like a real job.
And then
before
Eric
you
resorts to
started out.
Sour
Yeah.
Patch
You were
Kids.
helping
Yeah, I
I
used to
s-
work for the army.
No, this is what I'm eating now.
I
These
used
are
to
my
work
new.
for the
These are my new
army.
snacks.
Starburst.
Yeah, playing
Mini
Mini.
soldiers that were
Mini
stop lost
Starburst.
in Afghanistan. So I'd pay them for the time that their contract ended to the time that they were able to come back home.
Oh wow, there's a hot take in the
Wow.
comments.
Cool.
Ruby
And
was
I'm a
better.
military brat, so I have so much love for our soldiers.
Yes. As a kid, did you have a superhero, a real life superhero?
Are we
that,
gonna address like the
you know,
direction of the
influenced you?
season, or is this
She's
just
in
gonna
here
be like
now.
a
Mama.
Mhm.
Aw.
like a personal chat?
My
I kind of
I don't
hoping
know.
that we
What's the
get to like a.
timestamp in the video at the
Um,
moment?
Let me
She
see.
She raised my brother and I, and
We are
she's
0
Army,
minutes.
and she's
0.
done 2 tours.
How does that even-
She
Really?
is super.
Well, I wouldn't
woman
click on
to me.
anything,
So,
otherwise we're
matter of fact,
screwed.
she's that-
Yeah.
she's her bat mom.
Yeah, but really
Great job,
amazing.
great
Eric's-
job, Fandom.
Eric's broken the timeline.
Ooh.
We're
I
currently
guess.
we're in the
It's
abyss.
like it's coffee right
We're in
now.
limbo.
You can't answer both. If you could only have one.
No.
I can only have one, so we're just gonna
Yeah.
choose what I'm drinking right
I'm
now.
gonna
which is
say
coffee.
something a little bit controversial.
There it is.
A little bit
Oh,
edgy.
no.
Yes, there it is.
Awesome. You guys are only going to
Um,
get to know each other
I
better.
feel
so
like
can't
based
wait to
on what
see
we're
how
getting here in
family
this- with
develops
this
on
group,
screen and off when we
they
get to
actually
see
feel
more
like they
panels
get
in the
along better
future.
than
So
most
let's
of the
just talk-
other
Let's talk a little bit about
cast of
what
the other
we can even
shows, like
begin to know about
collectively.
season 2.
Maybe it's
You know,
because they
whatever you
haven't
guys
really
can
worked
share.
together
I'm
yet.
really
Well, not with
curious about what's going to
Javicia,
happen with each of
but
your
yeah.
characters and what Caroline and Sarah will even allow us
Now
to
this
know.
is
So let's
epic.
start with what's going to be different now that there's obviously going to be a huge new mystery.
We have 2 major
Here we go.
stories this
Here we go.
season as we come into season 2. The first one is, where's Kate? What happened to Kate? Is
Oh my
she
gosh, we
alive?
mentioned
Is
Kate's
she dead?
name.
Is she missing? Is she on the run? Is she held captive? Is
So
she
we're
lost?
gonna copy
These
the
are
story from
all
season 1 with Bruce,
huge
except with
mysteries
Kate,
that
knowing
push
that
us
Ruby's
in
never gonna
deep
come
into
back
the
to the
season.
show, right?
And all of our characters are going to have different perspectives on
So we're
that,
gonna keep the
different
fans of Kate
conspiracy
hanging
theories,
on for the
different
remainder of the
points view,
series.
and it will create a
You're
lot of
never gonna
drama,
find out what's happened
tension,
to her
mystery,
because they will
intrigue,
not
Yeah,
kill
and
no.
it
her
will
off.
be shocking and awesome and amazing.
Okay.
And then we have, we were just, obviously just talking.
She will
about
get a
Javicia,
face
we have a new
change.
hero rising. into
Probably.
Gotham.
And she will be
Ryan
Cupid.
can tell you about her, but she's a new
Ben, I have no
character to
idea.
the world of
I know you've asked
DC,
a few
and
times. I don't really
she,
have an idea
has
of
a
who the new
lot
legend's
kind
gonna
of
be.
going against her.
They
She
say a
was
lantern, then a lantern.
girl who was a statistic of injustice the moment she was born, and the system was not built for this person, and she will constantly battle against the system
Okay.
all throughout. She's battled through it her whole life, and she will.
So we're gonna continue
battle
with the
against it
social
as
commentary that Batwoman
so
has been
we're
known
just
for dealing
really,
with,
really excited
with a
to
different
have
character
Javicia
carrying on that torch, I
I
guess.
know that going into it, it's going to be a struggle because when you're a part of a community that has been neglected by the system, that's the initial community that you feel responsible for helping. And that's what you're going to see. You're going to see that community of
Failure
Gotham
gaming.
that got overlooked. And it's funny because a lot of Mary's patients can be examples of that community. The community that gets overlooked by the hospital, by the crows, it's a very personal thing, but that will be a huge battle. I know when Caroline and I were talking about it, just the battle of like you can't. They're not
It's
the only
me,
ones that need help.
telegraphs.
Those are the ones that want that she really wants to be able to help. And just the idea that the same person that will go kick some bad guy's ass will make sure she go feeds the cat in the alley, or gives a little girl.
I
the
really
orphan
hope this
girl
energy
a place to stay or a place
carries
to
on
go.
with her
So
character in the show.
just to kind of have that crusader that's for that part of the community. I think that's important, and that's really what we're going to dive into this season.
And just going off of that, I'm
Yeah, if
especially
you
excited
guys
to
watch
see
Batwoman
this new
season 1,
relationship happen
none of this should come
in
as a
the
surprise to
wake
you.
of
Where
Mary
Supergirl kind of leans into
dealing
the political
with
stuff,
this mysterious
or at least it did.
disappearance,
Batwoman
and
leans into the social
how
stuff.
she decides to sort of take it hard. And she's been a person who I think is always looking for family, is always looking for community. Is always
Remember when
looking
they
for
filmed in
people to see her,
Chicago?
which is, I think,
Yeah,
a huge
that's
source
been a while.
of why the clinic exists for her. There are just much deeper personal reasons for that. And I think her and Mary and Ryan sort of have that in common, perhaps, which is
So how much of the show would they have known about at
Mary
this
really
point?
looks to
Would they have already had
Ryan
scripts for the
in
season and
this
stuff?
way.
So
Or for
with
the first few
Sophie,
episodes?
Probably the first 2
She
or 3,
is
maybe
going
at this
to
point.
have
Saying that they would have been in quarantine. They would have only been like 2 weeks away from filming, I guess. So they would have had the first
things that she's going to have to process
2 or 3 episodes,
and deal
probably.
with. And
Come on, you
figure out.
guys. Anyone
It
saying they're
sounds a
hoping the
lot like
CW's
my
not going to do
current
political and
life right
social
now.
stuff? I don't.
It shouldn't be too
I mean,
hard
that's
to
pretty
put.
much what these shows are on the
But
CW.
the thing with Batwoman,
I don't agree
is
with it all the
she's going
time,
to
but it is
really-
kind of one of
she's
their
gonna
major
really
things.
understand the importance of why Batwoman has to stay secretive. And
I'm not
she's
saying it's
going to
okay. I'm
appreciate
just saying that
So,
we should.
with the
You
new
should
Batwoman
expect it
coming
at this
onto
point.
or coming into Gotham, Sophie's going to have no clue. She's going to want her.
Stargirl
to stay
touched
a
on
mess.
politics.
Alice is just
I mean,
gonna
that
be
was the
like,
entire process, or
Eve,
what the
you know, she has
Injustice
this, like,
Society's
beautiful,
thing
intricate
was.
plan for the demise
Was
of her
political.
sister, and that will have been foiled. But she also, I think, is going to have a lot to worry about, because we're introducing a new character, Sophia, who Alice had talked about.
Were you
in the
guys not
last
watching the
season.
end of Stargirl?
The introduction of
That was
Sophia
literally
be
the ISA's
intriguing,
thing.
just because
It was all political.
a sort of a backstory of Alice that we haven't had the opportunity to see before.
And I'm actually really excited because there, was this triangle between Alice, Kate Kane, and Mary. And, without Kate actively in that triangle, I'm really, really interested to see sort of Mary and Alice's
It will be
relationship
interesting to see how
and where
Batwoman
that
handles
goes,
this, because it could either do it.
there's
I think it's
a lot
only.
still that
I think
has
it's going to
be
be
dealt with,
messy no
and
matter which way they go, but it will be interesting to see
was
where
a
it's
buffer
at, like
of sorts,
6 episodes in.
between them, and
Yeah.
without that buffer,
Because it does have, like, even though I'm
We
excited to see
become
what
best
they do, it does have a good chance of
Mhm.
falling on its face and not
Grief
being
is an
good.
amazing thing.
Yeah,
like not handling the transition very well at all.
I'll work on it. I'll work on it.
Even though I
Yeah.
think it's going to be messy
I
no
think it's
matter
gonna
which
be
way
a
it
very
ends up
Oh
being.
yeah,
good
yeah,
Luke,
absolutely.
Just because they have to do everything
doesn't really
without Kate.
trust a lot of people, and it took him so long to trust Batman's cousin. So now that she's gone and we have this new person, I mean, obviously he's always down for someone to keep Gotham safe. That's what he cares most about, is keeping Gotham safe. But at the end of the day, Ryan to Luke is someone from the streets, and it was already so hard to trust someone that, like, had the army experience and had the money and had all the stuff, and to suddenly, like, give this precious bat suit to, like, this new person is going to be really hard for him. I think he's going to be down to work with her, but I think there's always going to be a bit of pushback, especially after last season of diving into all of the dad stuff and also having Kate Kane be his sort of.
Is it
connect
weird that
to
I'm
the rest
the
of
most
cast? Like,
interested in his
he never
story?
would have met Mary.
I feel
or
like I
Sophie
really,
or
really
Alice
want to
or
see
any
where
of these
Luke's
people
story
without
goes. in
It'll be
season
interesting to
two.
see where his
Now that
story,
she's
because
not
I think
around,
I
having
wouldn't
to
be
deal with
surprised
all
if
of
they
these
had
new
plans to
relationships,
develop Batwing in
through
season
his main
2.
trusting
But
source,
surely they wouldn't be able to
and
develop
also
him
introduce this
unless
new
it's
person
right
that
at the
didn't know how
end
to deal
of
with
season
yet.
2 because of
Caroline and
Ron
Sarah, I'm
Waldo.
curious about, what does
Like, and by the
Juvia
end, I
and
mean, like,
Ryan
literally,
and
like,
as the
it could
new
be like a
Batwoman
cliffhanger for
bring
the
to
season.
the next
Is
season that
him,
we maybe
or
can
maybe you
expect
subtly
to
see him
see
working
a
on
lot
tech
of,
that
or
he's
that you can
involved with
develop more of
Batwoman
in season 2.
Right.
or
When
something.
Javicia auditioned, it, just personally, when Javicia auditioned, it was obvious to everyone watching the tape within like 5 seconds. We was over Zoom, and I texted somebody on the computer in the chat, like, oh, she gets it. Like, it just was so clear that Javicia was meant for this role. And then when I talked to her, she said,
I'm
I
really
feel like
excited
M.
to see
Ryan, my
what she
friend,
does with
said,
Batwoman.
she heard me audition.
I mean,
She's
so
like,
far
"Oh,
I'm
you are
really
Ryan."
happy
And I was
with
like, yeah, it just feels like destiny.
with her
Which
energy.
is kind of one of the themes of the season. And then the other thing she did, which I didn't even see until after I knew she was Batwoman, was she had sent this athlete role or athleticism reel of all of like a montage of all of her.
She is like
one of the things
pretty,
is she was
like ripped, I
pushing these
guess.
giant tires.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters though.
Over like
because
somersaults.
they're not allowed to do a
like,
lot of
oh
the
my God,
stunts.
like,
That's true. I
all I
mean,
needed
the
to
reason why
be,
stunt people
you know,
have
I
jobs
told
is
her you
because
had an
actors
entire
can't do
flip.
everything. But
So
Yeah.
at least
she
she'll look the
everything,
part
sort
both
of
in and out of the
intellect,
suit. I think.
Like it was a
emotion,
reason
art.
that Stephen Amell stopped training because he didn't need to do it.
Yeah, like
you
what
know,
was it,
you
like
want in
seasons
your
2,
hero.
3, and 4? He was super
And
jacked, and then it just kind
No, it
of
was like
you know,
season 1 he was super jacked, and
they do
then
it really hard thing.
he
which
did
is
stop
take
because
a
he wasn't doing
role
the
for
stunts.
a script that
Like
he
he
well, no,
did
but I mean, in
parkour
season
training and
4,
stuff.
he had the guns out.
She was willing
Yeah,
to
I
I think that was
guns out
season
like
5.
so that's
Wasn't it?
awesome.
No, I think it was the 4 suit.
I will
That was
say
the only
that
thing I
that's
liked
Oh,
all
you're
about
talking about
season
the
4.
suit.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
but it's,
issue
yeah, but I mean, like
before
in
I
regards
saw
to
the
like
audition, and I
training,
just saw her
like
name
actually like
because I knew her work
the
so
stunts
well
and
from
stuff,
God
he
Friend
just
of Me.
stopped
So I was like,
doing it
oh,
'cause there was no
Davisa,
need for him to
yeah,
do
no,
it.
we're done. And then I watched
So Sarah just said
and
that
I
she
still
literally
remember her
would have just said
audition
yes
for that.
to Javicia
but I think
without an
that,
audition
you know,
tape, basically.
the idea of superheroes is to fill a void for
Well, I don't
an
think they
hour a
really
week.
went through too
So
much.
for us, it's just so exciting to be able to make a show
What
that
do you
very
call it?
much is about the
Well,
world.
Too many
she was already,
auditions.
she was already a
Yeah.
part of the
Technical.
Belanti family because she was on
Great.
God Friend and Me.
No pressure,
She
Javicia.
would have already been in the circle, so I don't think
Not at
there was
all.
too much
No,
of a
no.
tape
You got
dive
it.
in regards to audition.
All right, let's get to some fan questions.
Katie Lost
A
is definitely
fan
not
from
doing
the United
90% of her own
States wrote,
stunts.
"Hey, I just want to first off say, as a black
That is
trans
a
woman, your
straight out
casting
lie.
has truly helped me feel seen. Honestly,
You can
this
see
is
her
a
stunt
big
double
win.
in a lot of
My
this stuff.
question is, have you done any costume fittings yet?"
No, I haven't done any costumes.
Oh, so as of
were,
this, she hadn't done
talking
a
about doing
costume
Hasn't been
fitting.
very
quarantined.
soon. So that way we can get prepared as soon as we get there. But I know Caroline and we're also talking about how important it is that if we're gonna have a black Batwoman, that she needs to be like a sister when she becomes Batwoman. So it's important for her to still like the silhouette of her to still look like that, you know. So more of like a
So
natural
that's a pretty
textured
much
hair
a
and things like that.
guarantee
So
that she's
I think
not
we're
just
still
going to
kind
get
of,
like
putting things
an
together.
altered
I can't
version
wait. I
of
actually have
Ruby's
no
suit.
idea.
She's going to
I've
get
just been sending her
100%
fan
her
art,
own
like,
suit.
oh my gosh, look at this. This looks really dope. And I think
It'll be
just
interesting
as surprised
because
as at least everyone else.
hopefully they stick with the
I'm ready to
whole
see it.
Yeah, I
The
think
fan
what
art has been
thing where like
the fan art
Batwoman
is
is actually
like,
meant to sort
the
of
two
keep the fan art coming.
look
We
like
definitely-
a completely
we've got
different
I get
person.
like emails.
It's
And that's why
really
like
good.
Kate's got the short
Yeah.
hair.
Yeah, it's
Batwoman
so
had the really
cool,
long
and
red
we
hair.
love that people are so
I don't think they'll do
excited
red
about the character
hair.
already.
Yeah.
And one thing that I loved about season
Oh,
one
that'd be interesting to
was
see what they
how
do there.
Kate's coming out story. She had already like come out of the closet as Kate, but she now wanted Batwoman to come out of the closet, and that was like this huge story arc.
I
that we
really
applied to
didn't
season one,
like. I'll be honest, I didn't
because it
totally
felt, like,
understand
so
the whole
stifling that
Batwoman
this
coming
girl
out
who's
thing. I
out
mean, like
is
from a
hiding
character
her identity.
standpoint, or
And
somebody who likes the
likewise, when I wanted
show
to tell that same
and the
story with
character, I
Ryan,
didn't really see how that was
and so that's
relevant
what
to the
Tracy
show.
and
It
I have
felt a
been
little
talking about, is,
weird.
like, how can we make
I mean, I
sure
get
that
that
Ryan
they
isn't
wanted it to
hiding
happen
what
because
makes her
it was
awesome with the
representation.
suit.
But from a
And so
standpoint
it's
of being a
gonna be little bit
superhero,
of
I
an
didn't really
evolution,
understand
as we're going to see
that
the suit
storyline.
evolve
I didn't
early on
totally
in
get
the
it.
season. And Ryan is like, for me to feel empowered in this thing, it needs to feel like I'm representing something that I'm fighting for.
Ooh.
That's interesting.
Good.
I wonder what the suit's going to look like then.
Cameron, I love your face. You're like,
Cody says the suit changes throughout the season. Yeah, I'm sure we'll start out with a version of the
Well, a
suit.
fan from the
It'll
UK
be
wants to
it'll be an
know, what has
altered
been
version
your
of Kate at the
favorite
beginning.
episode to film so
Because
far?
why would Luke
I
just jump into
love
making her own suit if he's
episode
got
8 on
trust
the
issues with it?
Yeah,
finale. I just
absolutely.
thought it was so beautifully shot by Holly Dale, and it was a time I left set both thinking that was the hardest thing I've ever done, and also maybe one of the most rewarding days I've ever had on a set. And
No,
so
I don't think
felt
it'll be a
really
rainbow suit.
honored that day.
Episode 5 was just one of the best episodes of the season, I think.
Me
It was
too.
just it was so beautifully shot and so well done.
Episode-
The Kate
you said
and Alice
5?
story on one side, and then Luke and Mary.
Oh,
introduction
yeah, I
story on the
remember
other
this
side.
episode.
It just fit together so well, and also the Alice stuff was just shot really well. Like how it was, we practically did that.
Let's be
flashback
honest,
to real
Alice was kind of the
shot.
darling of the
Mwah!
first season.
Chef's kiss.
She
And
got a
then
lot of
also-
really
was
good
Mark,
shots.
Our DP. It was like
Yeah.
brilliant. He did it with
Wild.
lighting alone. There were no
Yeah.
Mark is
cuts to
so
that.
good.
Yeah, Mark got
Unreal.
He got nominated for an award for that episode. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And my second favorite was 19. 19 was just, that was the one where Hush kidnapped me and Christina, right?
Mm.
Yeah. Right, Caroline, was that right? Yeah, that one
Yep.
was dope. It's like we had so much. freaking
Wilder's
fun
gonna be a
during that
lesbian, correct?
episode, because in
That's
one
what you were
room
saying,
we
Vicky.
had
But the actress is
Luke
bisexual.
and Julia and Hush and Mouse and Alice all in the same place for like 2 days
That was
straight.
so good.
It was so fun. Yeah, it was just like it was really like just hanging out with all your buds, and like the scenes were so fun. We're like torturing each other and stuff, and we're like getting each other's faces. Man, like that was my favorite episode because we just had some of the most fun shooting that episode.
That was weird
of the
because
whole
those clips
season.
had audio. It sounded strange
Also
for a
from
second.
that
I'm like,
episode,
where's
I
that noise
felt
coming
like
from?
I
It was from the clip.
really admired Gabe's work without his face. Like when his face was covered up, I don't know, he couldn't really make like.
I'm
facial
still not a fan of that
expressions as easily,
mask. I thought it
but
looked a little
I
weird.
really like loved how he used his like arms and stuff, and I don't know.
I mean, I
it
get
was
why they
just,
did
like,
it that way.
epic.
We
All
talked
the
about it in
villains came
detail
out
when
to
we first
play,
saw
and
it, but
Yeah.
it was
Still not my
really cool
favorite.
to watch.
Yeah, Gabe, who plays Hush, said something very.
I
cool.
want
He's
Eric
like,
Hush
he's
cosplay,
never played a
please, for
character where
next
he can't
after
show his
party.
face
You got a
during
couple
that.
of days.
He just kind of went to more dance.
Yeah, just a couple.
He just had to like act with his body.
Just
So that's why you
band-aids
see a
all
lot
over
of,
your
like,
face.
hand movements on camera, and it works so well because he had to put all of his acting.
I mean, you can kind of
talent
see his
into the
mouth
rest
and
of
his
his
eyes.
work,
I mean, it's not
which is
completely
really
covered.
Did he use your? Did he
A
steal
lot of
your?
this.
He was inspired by
Never.
Cam. He would say. He would say.
A fan from Kenya wants to know, how will the new character bond with the Kane
This is a
family?
good question.
I don't see the Kane family really liking Ryan. Several reasons. I mean, obviously because Commander Kane, I mean, he's not about the whole vigilante street kid life. But also because I'm sure they're grieving, not a loss, because I don't know if it would be considered a loss, but well, obviously it's considered a loss, but the way it's presented in the show, I don't know how it will be presented. But just
I think she almost gave away
this
something
kid,
there.
this woman that kind of came out of nowhere from and had such.
Well, I think it's meant to,
a
even
rough
for us, it's meant to be
background,
kept up in
because
the
difference
air. Like I think it's meant to be
between
presented
Kane
as a
and
death,
Ryan
but
is
it's
like,
not a confirmed
Kane
death.
was groomed,
Right.
and she comes
'Cause
from
the thing
wealth,
is
and
that-
she comes from status. But Ryan didn't have anything.
How did she
I don't
become
really
Batwoman
see
randomly?
them
She like she
having
has to have
a connection
found
at all. And I see
Kate's
that
suit,
being
and that's
a
how
huge
Luke finds her.
influence on a lot
So,
of the tension
Yeah, I don't know.
between
wanna
Ryan
take this
and the Kane
question?
family.
That also goes for the Kane
No,
family
the fact that there was nothing
themselves.
today
We've come a long
does-
way from
says
our
everything.
morning breakfast at the table and sharing coffee with each other to where all of the members of the Kane family are now in crazy different locations, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically.
Those were very thoughtful and insightful answers. I think, like Javicia said, there's going to be just this swirl of emotions
So, Tom,
surrounding
this
Kate's
was confirmed, but I don't see
disappearance,
how they can not do
obviously
that
Jacob
eventually. It just
doesn't like
doesn't.
vigilantes.
It just
I
doesn't
think
make any
both
sense to
me
kind of
being able
keep it
to see
hanging
sort of globally
like a
what
carrot
season 2
for
is
the rest of the
about.
series,
The
especially
I
if it's
think
going to go
Ryan
4, 5,
will
6 seasons.
ironically
So we'll see.
ultimately unite the Kane family, whether or not they realize it. There are all of these strands of connection that she brings to them that allows them to continue interacting and having changing dynamics.
Okay, another fan from the UK wants to know, what would everyone like to see happen with Sophie next season?
Who's asking that?
She barely had a storyline in season 1, so
Actually,
You and your love
See
stories,
that?
Alice.
Look,
It's the
look,
actress, but
they just mentioned love story there.
Everyone's in love with
Yeah, I mean,
Alice.
that's what it was.
Everyone's in
Like,
love
Yeah, I'm
with
like I'm surprised. Look, honestly, going into this season, I was like, okay, I don't know if they're going to keep everyone because I thought they might cut the fact that's
Right.
attached to Kate. And I thought the only one that might have stayed would have been Jacob. Well, that would have stayed would have been Jacob.
Mm.
But it's gone the opposite. Like not just Sophie staying because I thought they might have could have done that. It's the fact that Julia got promoted to a series regular.
Like you're still a hero.
Like you have to be
But
pretty
I
relevant to
think I
whatever's
wanna see
going
Sophie
on
just,
for that to
like,
happen.
Continue to take
Look.
over Gotham.
Look,
I
Cam,
guess, like, I
Megan
kinda wanna see you
Tandy
become
asked
the
that from
mayor. Like, I
London.
wanna see you become like the sort of peacekeeper of the city as best as you can.
Selfishly, I want them to. I want Mary and Sophie to.
But my thoughts around it is that the Crows must be more involved this
Absolutely
season
gorgeous.
Mhm.
than they were last season. If anything, they might be setting up the whole Crow thing from the comics, which I think is harder to do without Kate there because it's sort of a
Me and Nicole.
personal thing there. But who knows what they do?
Was just always
That's what I mean. Where like this show could either do
Yeah, I
really
love
well and
I
you
feel
basically
like
could carry it, or it could really fall on its face because
Black, but remember,
it's
we're not
hard to do a story with all these comic characters, then have a character leading the show who's not from the comics
Yeah.
with
Yeah, and
no
I-
actual connection to the characters. So
At least writing.
it'll be
Let me just
interesting to
say-
see. I think.
I will say that they've kind of
and
broken
Batwoman,
free from
mostly
any ties to
Ryan
the
sort
comic
of
books at
helped
this point
pull
because they've
Sophie
created
out
their
of her
own
shell,
Batwoman,
and maybe
which
he
means that
edged
we
you up a
can't
little bit this
cry
season and
that
just,
something's not comic book accurate because
Yeah.
it doesn't
you're
matter anymore.
Sophie, who plays by the books and colors within the lines when, as we got to know you, but, now you're, maybe, a little more of a,
branches out.
yeah, branches out a little bit. I think
Yeah.
that will be,
Woo!
yeah.
It almost feels like the
Hey,
best thing to
the
ever
girl's
happen to the
coming
show
out
was
in
to
all
get rid of
different
Kate
ways,
Kane.
so
Bring it
I
back.
know it's a weird thing to say, but I feel like
Well, thank you so
everyone
much,
seems so
everyone
excited.
that was participating. In the
Yeah, but
podcast.
they're not going to sit here and go,
Okay.
"Oh, fuck, God,
That's
this
the end of the
sucks."
panel. Let's go ahead and close this off. So.
They're not going to sit there going, "Oh, I'm really dreading going into film season." They're not going to sit there and say that.
All right, before we jump into the next panel, I'm going to take a few minutes to just sort of talk a bit.
I do
about
have
that panel.
a exclusive image. If you want to put it up on screen, it's down the bottom there.
What? who is this? And what is
I
this?
don't know. I saw it on Twitter and I thought it was funny. Game blogger.
It's like
I'm scared of
completely.
women.
Is that photoshopped?
No, I think it's real.
Oh, geez. Okay, let's get rid of that. Thank you for becoming a member of Team Airrick, Roderick Furlow. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. So let's talk a little bit about that panel briefly before we jump into the Superman and Lois, which is the one that I'm like super excited to watch. So we know that the new Batsuit is going to be very, very important to Ryan Wilder's character, obviously. We also know that they're going to continue with almost everybody's storyline, right? I mean, the way it looks, they're just going to delete Kate from the story, I guess. How do you feel about that? I mean, that's what it feels like to me.
I'm not too
They
surprised.
didn't talk much about her, honestly. That's what kind of got to me. I'm like, wow, they didn't.
Yeah, but I think it might be different from like what's said in the panel to what actually is in the show, because they're going to have to address from the get-go what actually happens to Kate and how Ryan gets involved. It's going to be hard to see how they do it with Ruby, because I do wonder if they knew, say, when they were filming episodes, even like 15 or even if it was 17 or 18, that Ruby wasn't going to be there coming in the season and there was like a mutual agreement to leave, whether they would have set it up in the actual finale, what happens to her. So film the quote unquote event that happens. And then when we pick up season 1, it picks up from Ryan Wilder's perspective and we get the POV from how she sees things play out. And then she finds Kate's body, or at least the Batwoman suit where Kate was, something along those lines. But Kate's body isn't there, which leads it to be a mystery for the season. I wonder if in a perfect world and they got to finish the season, if that's what would have happened. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with it and set it all up without Ruby there. I'm assuming it's going to be a body double like we saw with Batman in the pilot. I'd assume that's what it's going to be, which isn't too hard because you can make it easily identifiable that it is Batwoman because of the freaking red wig.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I said earlier, like a couple of times during the thing, it's going to be interesting to see how they handle it, because I think it's going to be messy no matter what. It's not going to be a perfect flow just because they weren't able to do it the way they wanted to do it from the beginning, if they had the plans to do it. But like, I reckon around like the 5th or 6th episode, like I think we'll be able to get a feel of whether it's going to work or not, because they do have the free reign where they don't have any connectivity to the comics, but also every single character on the show pretty much is really there because of Kate.
Yeah.
So
it's a weird
Kate,
situation.
Yeah. So without Kate, how do you explain all these characters being there? So it'll be interesting.
Yes, this video will be up afterwards as long as there's no copyright issues from streaming this. I don't think there will be, but I just thought I would throw that out there because it did happen one time before. So, all right. So I guess we should go ahead and jump into now. Have you seen the Superman and Lois panel yet?
I've seen all of them. Actually, I haven't seen Legends, but that's for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen Black Lightning either, but it's because they're not going to talk about the shows.
Yeah. No, I did watch Black Lightning. Black Lightning had very little about next season. It was more about asking everybody individually about their characters, and they did like a 90s trivia thing for like 15 or 20 minutes. It was really weird. I watched it was the first panel that I watched, and I'm like, I wanted to see if there was anything on there that we could talk about. And I didn't really, even when they asked questions about the direction of characters next season, they didn't really answer those. So yeah, it's a little bit weird. All right, let's do this. Share screen, share audio. I wonder if this one's going to be all 000 at this point. So, because that was so weird. All right, so this panel, I'm going to read here quickly.
Hold on,
This
it's all fuzzy on my screen.
Is it
Yeah, from what I can see, it's all fuzzy. As if,
like the whole thing?
Yeah, it's sort of maybe refresh the page.
All right.
I don't know. It's all fuzzy. Is it fuzzy for anyone else? Yeah, fuzzy.
I don't know.
Maybe disconnect and share the screen again.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. All right. Let's try this. I keep forgetting to hit share audio.
Yeah, by the way, if people wonder about my picture, that's me when Ray Fisher walks in the office.
Is it still bad?
Yeah, I guess it's probably the best it's going to get. So at least as long as the audio isn't like.
I wonder if there's a problem with. I wonder if it's like StreamYard or if it's on YouTube side. I don't really know what it is because it's just this window that's fuzzy, right? It's not the whole thing.
Hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, let me try it. Let me try and see if I have fuzzball.
All right.
Fuzzball the stream.
Confirmed live issues. Live issues confirmed.
Confirmed Eric Dab.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
It's 480p quality. We don't want that.
Share screen.
Have you ever noticed like when these videos come out of like, you know, Bigfoot sightings and stuff, it's always filmed like on like the lowest camera quality ever?
Is it fuzzball for you or is it good?
It's a little fuzzy, but not. I mean, it is fuzzy actually, but I don't know if it was. I couldn't see what you were seeing for me, so I don't know if it's as bad. So
I don't know. Is mine the same amount of fuzzness or is it?
I would say go ahead and do yours since you've already got it up and running.
I would rather not be the one in control. I'd rather you do it if it's the same level of fuzzness.
Somebody said almost 720.
It's better? Okay, well, I'm in control then. Get ready. You don't want me in control.
Did you turn on audio?
Is it too loud?
No, I think it's fine.
Let me know if I need to turn it down.
Hello, everyone out there at Fandom. This is Jim Lee.
No, it's
I
good.
am the publisher and chief creative officer at DC, and I'm super excited to be hosting this panel about an upcoming new show called Super.
Oh, shit.
Hello, everyone out there at Fandom.
We're live, ladies and
I am
gentlemen.
the publisher and chief creative officer at DC, and I'm super excited to be hosting this panel about an upcoming new show called Superman and Lois. Today with me, I have Todd Helbing, who is the
Todd Helbing,
badass on the production. Hey, Todd, good to see you again.
Hello, hey Jim, good to see you.
This is the guy that ruined the Flash, by the way.
Well, we have Superman and Lois, Tyler Hoechlin, and Elizabeth Tulloch.
Oh, they're both there.
Welcome.
Okay, cool.
Thanks. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yeah, so let's just jump into it. We got a lot of questions.
Well, it's just these
I
four.
have my
Okay.
own personal questions as a huge fan.
This
of
might
the
be a
show,
pretty good one
the
then.
characters, and then I believe some fans are going to ask some questions. You guys actually might be asking each other some questions here at the end too. So everyone will get a participation medal at the end. So anyway, so Superman was obviously the first superhero, and he's had some amazing TV shows over the years. As a kid, I watched the George Reeves black and white Superman one where he kind of jumped out of a window onto a mattress on the other side.
Yeah.
And obviously there have been shows since then. Todd, can you talk a little bit about how this show is going to be different from previous incarnations, adaptations, what you're doing differently that hasn't been done before, and just kind of, tease it out a little bit. I know you can't share too much right now.
The main way that we're going to make this a little different is that Clark and Lois are married in this version. And they're not only married, they have 2 teenage boys. Yes,
These guys look way too young to have teenage kids.
Yeah, well, we lean into that because Clark Kent does not really age that much.
You gotta look close, but the grays are coming in. They're there. Don't worry, they're there.
Yeah, when Tyler's
They'll just CGI the mustache off. No big deal.
But yeah, I think as a father,
what kind of
boys,
headphones is it? Are those AirPods?
Felt like a really great.
I don't know what those are.
To bring in
Jim
some
has or
personal
that?
experience.
No, that Todd has.
I think that might be like custom
really
AirPods.
A story that
like painted.
That's even bigger of a flex, right?
To have
I
Superman
think.
in it, and as a couple, we really get to lean into, Clark and Lois, not being Superman and the most famous journalists in the world, but really as parents, like what is that like when you have jobs like that, which can really.
I don't know if that part's going to be the interesting part for me. I think that might be the part that I struggle with a bit.
Parents. And all the complexities.
Megan Tandy's character dated Tyler Hecklin in a show.
Difficulties that
called
come with having.
It's really weird that you put Hecklin in the pronunciation there. I think I've always said it right. Was I saying it wrong? Tyler Hecklin?
I think you were saying Hoechlin.
Speaking from experience, my boys are wild.
So she became Batwoman. That would have been a cool connection.
2 kids that had completely different skill sets. And how do you deal with that as parents?
Epic.
I don't know if you can, or if you feel comfortable revealing this just yet, right? But there's a reason where in which Clark and Lois moved back to Smallville. That's a big piece of
Krypton.
Yeah, I'm not going to give the reason
what an interesting
yet, but,
experiment of a series.
In Metropolis for very long. Obviously, there was a Smallville series.
Obviously, there was a Smallville series.
Midwest, and
obviously,
the town that I grew up in had a business leave that sort of affected everybody in the town, and the town started to slowly dry up, and it felt very current with recent years after 2008. So we wanted to tell a story where you have the parents, after this tragic event happens, move back to Smallville and really.
Have we ever had a situation where a showrunner
raise kids
or executive producer leads one show and then literally just moves to another show in the same franchise?
Right? So at the end of the crisis,
it's a little different, right? That doesn't happen very
They
often.
basically brought Superman and Lois into Earth Prime.
I don't think so. He left. He would have been. He would have stayed on Flash, but he left because he wanted to do Superman and Lois.
Storytelling.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, but I still think it's kind of interesting that he did that.
At the end of the beginning of the last crossover, Clark and Lois had a little.
Well, I think technically some of the people that work on Batwoman as co-producers were co-producers on Smallville as well.
And the end of the crossover is Lois calling Clark saying that he has to get home because there's a problem with the boys.
Which doesn't make any sense, by the way.
We took Crisis as
because he acted surprised about
really
that.
Age up and change things for them as parents.
They take an L for that,
or create
big
2
L.
boys, fraternal twins, and make them teenagers when things really get complicated for parents. So I think.
So Tyler and Katie Cassidy went to prom together.
An opportunity to
Pretty
start
cool.
with a blank slate and
thank you for the super chat, by the way.
Tell the story in a way that we couldn't have otherwise.
Tyler, Bitsy, how do you guys feel like, before you're Superman, you're the ultimate hero, right? Lois Lane, you are the ultimate, most famous journalist in all the world, right? And now you're parents to these kids, like,
That's kind of shady to say that about Iris West.
In terms of your parents,
Iris West Allen is
a whole different dimension, right?
ultimate journalist, right?
Amazing superheroes, amazing journalists.
I know you like to suck up Eric, but now's not the time.
On top of it, you now have 2 teenage boys that are running amok in a small town. Like,
just saying.
Is there stuff that you can draw upon to kind of help tell this story from your own childhood or your extended family?
Well, I mean, I am a mom. I have a 17-month-old, and I feel like she's already judging me on a daily basis. So I'm just kind of used to it.
What do you think of Betsy Tollick?
Big fan of my husband right now in particular.
I think she's a good fit for Lois Lane. Like, she looks like Margot Kidder.
I think that
do you like her better than Smallville Lois?
Especially about Lois.
Yeah, but Smallville Lois was like your early 2000s Lois, like overly
and so I think one thing
sexy
that I think
and
she
stuff
butts
like
up
that.
against, and obviously
Like Lois is meant to look like
Superman
she's
does
smart
too,
and stuff
is,
like that,
you
and that
know,
she's.
being really dedicated to our
I think she
careers
looks like
and
a
our
good
jobs
Lois.
because we're doing this for good and we believe in what we're doing. And Lois wants to change the world with words. And
That's what I mean. I
Superman
like
does it
Erica
with his
Durance's,
power,
but it was that
also,
typical,
you know, how much
you know,
is that
2000s version of the
alienating
character.
our kids.
Look here.
And how good can you really
Cara
be
Danvers won a
at your
Pulitzer
job
Prize.
if you
See?
have two teenage boys who are hormonal and who each have very disparate needs?
Everybody's a reporter.
So I think that's part of what, for me anyway, was really compelling and was so exciting when I found out that it was going to be older kids, like teenagers, because it is so complicated and they are going to be going through a lot. And, you know, I've read 2 scripts now and
Was it
storyline with the son
Betsy
really,
receiving a
really
lot of
compelling.
hate initially from her
It
Lois
doesn't get
Lane?
harder as they get older, but
I thought there was a lot of people online trying to be
I don't
shady
have,
about
I don't have the direct experience
her.
of parenting yet. I have six nieces and nephews now. My older brother and sister have gone ahead and taken care of that for mom and dad. So I've been at least.
I just noticed he's got
from
skulls in the
uncle
background
end,
of his house.
and watching them grow up.
Yeah,
But
I
just the
don't-
idea.
yeah.
I think.
I noticed
What is that in the
earlier.
corner?
Dad,
Is that a Batman man? What is that?
how often he
Is
was
it
gone
a
at work,
the
he was a
Della
doctor,
de
he was
Muertos
a
or whatever it
doctor,
is?
worked in
The
emergency
I don't know what that
Day of
is.
the Dead.
So
That's a
balancing
weird
that with having
backdrop.
4 kids at home, see him do that and being older now and realizing how much time is taken up by working towards a career, by providing and just doing those things, even just for myself. It's a perspective shift for me to look back at how he was able to do that. So those are things that I'll definitely be drawing on just to see, you know, how you're able to.
The best thing
wear
about
both
it is
hats in
that
that
I think
situation,
her and Tyler,
to, you know,
Tyler
be a good
Hoechlin and
parent and
Bitsy
see,
Tarlek have good
a working
chemistry,
parent. It's a
which is an
good
important
situation.
thing
So
for them.
Yeah,
it's a small
yeah,
feat.
absolutely.
Probably the most important
So
couple
Tyler, do
to
you
have
feel
good chemistry
that
with,
extra level
but not
of
like in your
pressure? I would
typical
imagine
way, but
playing
in like a
Superman in
Clark and
general,
Lois
you have
way.
to, you know, embody all these like virtuous, you know, aspects, and I'm sure people come up to you all the time and call you Superman. I assume, like, when you get that call, like, does your life change? Well, I guess after the first episode airs, it changes, right? I mean, can you talk a little bit about that kind of change in your career and life?
I think it's just there's a heightened awareness. I think, you know, when we were on the set, there was one moment that always stands out. We were on a set, and I've been on sets before where there's fans around and they want to meet the actors.
A little bit
to
of
be there and to be
back
in
and
the
forth in the
Superman
comments
suit
over there
and to have
about
a
her
parent
Lois
bring their
Lane.
5 and 6 year olds.
See, some people are
the
Team
thing,
Betsy
say,
and
"Hey,
some
can we meet
aren't."
Superman." That's a thing where you do realize that, you know, at that point, you know, the parent might know who you are as the actor, but to the kids, you're just Superman. You're wearing the suit, and that's all they know. So I think that's the thing that changes the most, is just that awareness of when you're around kids. And I think that's what's so great about this character, and what I love about it is that what he stands for really just kind of grabs onto such an impressionable audience. You know, these kids who look at him as a hero and all the things that he stands for.
So this is going to be the Superman that we kind of want in the
making
movies, it sounds like, in
You know, I
terms of
don't
the way
know
they're
if
going
you
to
guys
take
were,
direction with him.
You know, fans of DC Comics or Superman.
Well, I say we
or
want.
before you guys
A
got
lot
into
of people
comics,
want this
I
version of
assume you guys
Superman, the
have
more
been Comic-Con
hopeful,
now,
like
that you
fatherly
talk
figure
about how
character.
your heart
Is that a
starts pumping
Snyder
before
cut?
they call your name and you go out.
Jab,
on that panel.
Eric? Are you
Can you
jabbing
share
at the
some
Snyder
No,
cult?
no, I really like
Comic-Con,
Tyler Hoechlin's
stories about
Superman.
Comic-Con and
I just like this
and,
version of Superman.
sort of
I still think Henry
interacting
Cavill's
with
my
the
favorite
passionate
Superman. I just
fan
don't
base
necessarily like
that
every
are here
decision they've
watching us,
made
you know,
about his
online.
character.
I remember the first time we did Comic-Con for Grimm, because Grimm premiered in the fall of 2011. They showed the whole pilot, and because it hadn't aired yet, people
Will
hadn't
Supergirl
known
end
who
with
we
season
were, for
6?
the
$5
most
super
part.
chat
We
from
were,
Silhouette Animer.
that
My
was
guess
my
Leviathan
favorite
dies,
year,
Lexus sent the Phantom
because
Zone, and
we were
Brainiac
able
wanted
to
the final
kind of
villain.
walk around and
If
interact
Supergirl
with
ends, it's not
people. I
creatively.
always
It'll end
enjoyed it.
because
It was a
Melissa
very
doesn't want to
long
do it
day, but I
anymore.
remember my
You can write
favorite time was
another
the first
4 or 5
episode when we were
seasons of
actually,
Supergirl
like,
stories,
able
but
to kind of get into it with people.
Yeah, it's just a different experience. I think when
Thank you for
meet
the super
somebody
chat.
who's a fan of a different show,
I don't think
it's a completely different
I
experience.
see some people talking about like how attractive
think a lot of
Lois
that has
is.
to
I
do with
don't
the
really.
legacy of it as well.
I don't
You
know.
it's
I guess it's not
such
relevant
it
to
goes
me
back so
overall.
far
You know what I
that
mean?
to
Like,
do it. It's this.
I don't think Lois is supposed to be a
long-standing
pinup
tradition of the character and
girl.
what he
You know what I
means.
mean?
No, she's not meant to be.
It might mean one thing to the
I don't
5-year-old
know.
you're meeting, but to their dad or to their mom, who also knew the character when they were 5, and is still a fan. It's such a wide range of impressions that have been made over the decades that it's just it's a different kind of.
Okay. Yeah, I understand what
One
you're saying,
thing Superman
Gwendolyn.
feels particularly conflicted because obviously he has the responsibilities to his family, the woman he loves, the children he's trying to raise, but he's also he's owned.
Yeah, Quentin brings
he
up Man
belongs
of
to the
Steel. Man
world,
of Steel is
right?
not a
He's the
very good
world's champion,
thing to bring up in
and
regards
that
to like
demand and need for
accuracy
that
to
type of
Superman,
character
though.
in the world takes him away from his family, right? So he's got to be extremely
Man of Steel was
consistent in
definitely a
his
modern
personal
and
responsibilities,
Elseworlds
It
version.
was
of
along with
definitely
Superman
like,
is.
other
I'm going to take the character of
responsibilities
Superman
to
and
really kind of
do my own
help
thing
lead
rather
the world
than
to a better
really
place,
being
right?
too faithful to the
I
character.
feel like there's an interesting thing.
I love
going
Man of
on,
Steel. I think it's a great movie, but it's definitely not the
it's a
classic
really.
Superman.
I don't think it's necessarily a good movie. I think it's a great movie, but it's not a very good Superman movie.
Professional lives,
Yeah.
our
It
work
doesn't
lives
really
does require
get a
so
grip on the
much more,
character.
and I think that's something about.
I get a
Superman.
double crit. I wasn't trying to
There
single
is
you
so
out.
much needed of him. It's when
just-
do you turn it off?
I'm talking
When
about
is it
for me
okay to turn it off?
personally.
When is enough because you do have other things in your life that might be in a different way. It's not as macro, it might be more micro. Doesn't make it any less important. These are the people that count on you for something that only you can fulfill.
I agree,
in
Jordan.
that structure of a family. So it's it's one of the things I'm most excited about diving into in this show is as a parent.
I actually think the combination of this show and Stargirl has definitely lightened up the Arrowverse in a good way. I think Legends takes that too far, honestly, but
how and when
I
to
think
scale that
the sweet spot of like
time into the family.
positivity, but
it's a unique challenge that I'm sure everyone
drama,
faces,
like that balance in
going through that.
Stargirl is
So
really well
I'm
done. And I
excited
think
to see what
I have a feeling this show is going to be very
So on
similar
top
to that.
of this challenge between, this personal
Todd's being
challenge,
awful quiet.
between Clark and Lois and their family. Todd, can you talk a little bit about?
Oh, here we go.
As they go to
Ask can I show us
the
these?
other elements of the other members of the supporting cast of Superman that you kind of want to activate and bring into the fold. We were talking the other day about how love triangles are really important in the Superman mythology. Starting with the first, which is Superman, Lois, and Clark, right before Lois figured out his secret identity.
Yeah, well, I think it's fun to when they go back that Lana Lang is there. Lana was Clark's first love.
Oh, I didn't realize
and
Lana
I
Lang
think
was
it's
going to be
an
on the
interesting
series.
Dynamic as an
Yeah.
adult, how you deal with that.
Do we know who's playing that
relationship,
character?
That Emmanuel
Chikri. We don't want Clark
Okay.
Kent ever having an
She's in
affair
like
with
Entourage
Lois.
and
There's
Don't
no
Mention
chance. So that's
Zohan and
never
stuff.
I
gonna
actually think
happen.
that's going to be
Yeah,
funny
he's-
having her
he's as
around.
good as
The
they
two
get.
of them being married. This is going to be pretty hilarious.
It's also like we don't want like Lois and Lana brawling in the but that
Who says that? I'd like
dynamic
to
as
see
an
that fight.
adult
That would be
is really
funny.
interesting to us. Those feelings are impossible to ignore, and I think that that's a real thing for some people, especially when kids are involved. And then to
Double
see
crit,
her
it.
husband and
Always.
her kids and that dynamic. There's a couple characters that we invented.
Todd Helbing loves these
Kyle
like
Cushing,
family.
her
Like
husband,
if you think about it
Sarah
now, he
Cushing,
really loved having Nora there with the Flash
who
family or whatever.
gets
So it's not
sort of
surprising to
wrapped
me
up
that he
with
wanted to do a
boys,
Superman
and then they
family
have
series.
their own love triangle. And then a character that I think is really interesting is General Lane, Lois's father, and his relationship with the two of them. He sees Superman as he's a very military guy, so he sort of looks at Superman like his soldier.
Oh, I was going to
And
say, we said
so-
Superman's a military guy. I was going
his
to say, what?
relationship with Lois is a
That's
little
not what I
fraught,
expected. The way he
because
phrased that
the way
sentence
that he
was
took
weird.
his job when he was a parent versus the way that
Oh, that's
Clark
interesting, Laura.
is doing his job.
So
all
Silhouetted
of that
Animator
messiness
has a
is
$5
really
super
fun.
chat. The Flash movie is
It's
reportedly
not just
resetting everything, but
about
not Shazam,
the ultimate
Aquaman, or any
superhero
successful
and
franchise. I'm
Lois
guessing.
Lane leading a
I would
family,
say the
those
Flash
kind of,
movie is probably just
challenges
making
and
it easier for them
responsibilities,
to
true
reestablish
superhero action as
their
well.
Justice
So
League world
more than just
by
so
introducing new dynamics to characters in the
nuclear
multiverse.
family
So when it
section
says resetting, it's almost like a soft reboot. It's not a 100% reboot.
show about
So I would look at their
superheroes.
Flashpoint as like a soft
Yeah,
crisis.
so I think
Except
there's a lot of
introducing
set
the
pieces,
multiverse
there's a
instead of
lot
taking
heroics,
it away.
But to
Would you
us,
say that's accurate?
what's interesting
Yeah.
is when Superman goes out,
Like
and saves
everything is
the day, or
canon
he's
in the
fighting
DC
a villain,
multiverse,
or he's
but
stopping a nuclear reactor.
so I think
from
post
exploding.
Flashpoint,
Lois is
they'll
out
keep what they
there
want in that main
hunting a different
continuity,
sort of villain,
or in
and
that main
using her
Earth, and then the Snyder
superpowers
stuff will
to be
exist
just as
elsewhere.
effective, and
It won't have
you
been
see them as a
forgotten; it still
team,
exists,
kind of this
but it's
unstoppable
just not
force,
relevant
which
to what's
is,
happening
a lot of fun.
going forward.
So
if that
Todd,
makes sense.
I know you have two young boys, and apparently they draw a lot, which is awesome. But I heard that they struggle a little with like drawing Superman's shield, right?
Yeah. Yes, they're both.
Is this
they're
what somebody
both
wanted me to
very
draw on,
artistic,
like while we're doing
but
this?
Yeah, that is the big.
I'll pull.
that's the
I don't have a
side.
pencil, so I'll pull out my
So
pen.
I'm going to just share with you a little secret that another artist told me back in the day. An artist named John Byrne, who's like.
Oh, I love John Byrne. He wrote like the
Yeah,
he
very
drew
long
the
run
X-Men
on
stories, the first
Superman,
ones that I was reading as a kid.
But he basically
He's an
looked at
excellent
it as
artist.
a
Somebody I
diamond,
really
obviously
admire.
The symbol with two fish swimming in opposite directions. So you're drawing the negative space rather than the S. If you try to draw the S, it's really challenging. But if you just draw the two fish, the S
Jim Lee,
must be-
don't
So
say
I'm gonna
that. You know
see if I
better.
can
You
do
could
that.
draw an
Awesome.
S.
Wait, we're gonna do it, right? Are we all doing
You
it?
guys have,
Awesome.
yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I got my kids'
All right, yeah,
crayons.
this is fantastic.
I mean, I could just use
Draw line. All right, now, now the
Okay.
pressure's on. I gotta.
Yeah.
draw two
You guys
fish.
have to come through for me here. All right.
All right.
You have to
That's
come
not
through.
how I would do it, but
Yeah, we got something there.
Oh, fantastic! All right, I've got my board here. All right, so actually the hardest part now. It would
I mean,
probably be
that's
to draw the
probably-
diamond, right.
yeah, that's not good.
So
But
do that.
that's what he's asking me to do. I could probably do
Draw
it
the
better
diamond
without
first.
doing it as a fish.
Yeah.
It's okay. All right.
Okay.
And now
Sure.
here's the part. You draw a fish.
And this is without a fish. I
and
think I
then
did
you
a
draw
better job
another
without the fish.
Okay, I'm trying to draw it as
Alright.
well.
Yeah, I think mine is better without doing it as a fish.
Okay. So, and then right above that fin, you draw like a little diamond shape there,
Oh my god, mine's so
Yeah.
bad.
and another little
Mine's not
diamond
great
underneath
either.
that bottom fish.
Okay. Is that it? Is that the thing?
So this is the starting point. Obviously, it's not quite the S symbol, but what
Yeah,
it gets you to
not even
is
close,
a
actually, but
point where you
whatever.
go, okay, now I can see that S, right? And so if I'm doing this in pencil, you come all the way down here, and you just basically hook it up like that, right? And then this S, it actually goes like this, right?
I should have brought an eraser. Like a better eraser.
I'm drawing with a Sharpie. So I'm just going to fill this in so you can kind of see the S kind of appear. They actually look more like whales than fish. This top one looks more like a whale. That looked pretty close. Oh, and then another little line goes up here. Okay.
There. Okay. Hang on.
Okay, this
I'm
is
so curious to see what you guys have
not
done.
good. That's
It's
all
really
I'll
helping
say
you
on
to
my end.
think about
It's
the
not looking
negative
good.
shapes rather than the S that you're drawing itself.
This is embarrassing.
Did you finish yours yet?
Yep, it's not good. I'll just give you that.
Oh, that's not
great.
bad.
Oh my God.
That's not great,
Todd.
Jim. No.
That's fantastic.
I think I was off to like a real hot start, and then the bottom fish got me.
Oh wow, awesome.
Oh,
Great.
Bitsy's is great.
Wow.
Here's
Anyway,
a quick sketch of Superman on my end.
I stole my daughter's crayons.
That's not how I would do it on my tablet. I would erase the end
Better
lines,
than
but
her eating them.
I think my
This is
S
gonna
there
have
is
to
better than
improve
what I
over
did
time, but
previously. That's a 1 minute sketch of Superman for me.
there we go.
dude, that's awesome. These are both
That's
yeah,
great,
all
man.
of them. All of them.
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. Here, let's put
Oh,
them all
that's
up.
Like
It's
literally
good.
no detail.
Yeah,
Hang on.
but,
I
yeah.
see now.
Hold it up.
What?
That's what I originally wanted to do. I wanted to be a
No, I
comic
saw
book
the
artist.
picture.
I went to New York and pursued it. There's no money in
There
it
you
My
unless you
proportions are really
get a
off.
deal doing a book or
There you go.
something.
There you go.
It's really difficult.
Tyler,
There
your bottom was like a little guppy.
Yeah.
I have so many pages of comic books that I made.
All right,
So
go
if you know,
team.
if you
And
know
characters
this,
I
every time
created.
You see the Superman symbol, it's hard not to see the fish
Yeah.
instead of the S. Anyway, but hopefully, kids and fans.
I
all
love
around
you,
the world
Jim.
can
I
sit
think you're a
down, kind of
fantastic artist. I
this
don't
all
agree with
together
that. I never saw
and share
fish
some of this other
in the
stuff.
Superman symbol. Even the
So
one on
Todd,
your
we
shirt
have
doesn't look
some,
like fish.
Fan questions. What Superman story stood out the most to you that made you want to play these characters? Was there a seminal moment where you were first introduced to the Superman mythology that made you a Superman or Lois?
Kingdom Come. That's what he's gonna say.
You know, it's funny. It's not that there's like one particular moment.
Well, they're
I've
gonna
never
mention the
seen
classic
TV
movies,
shows. I've
probably.
seen, snippets of it, but I've never seen. I worked with Erica Durance last year. She's amazing. I love her, but I haven't seen Smallville. I've seen the Christopher Reeve films with Margot Kidder, and I love them so much.
I knew it.
And
I knew
think
it.
One of the things that I always found really memorable was
Not
this,
that that's a problem. I was like,
she
if they know
didn't
any version, they know that
who
version.
he was, but like on some level, did she? There was something about the way I felt like Margot Kidder played it, or maybe I'm projecting. where it feels like, and part of
Didn't
the
they say that
reason
they kind
they're
of
such a
wanted
good
Betsy's
couple
to
and
be
they
a
love
Margot
each other so
Kidder,
much is
Lois
that she
Lane?
just kind of gets
Isn't that
them.
kind of the direction they were going with
And
her?
Yeah.
you know, I just remember moments where she was kind of looking at him quizzically, and I'm like, wait, does she know, or does she just sort of understand something about him and who he is and what he represents? And like, you know, going back to what I was saying earlier on, I think part
Maybe
of the
Hero's
reason
Journey.
Lois is the perfect woman.
I don't draw
for
regularly
Lois
enough. I
is
draw on
that
my
she
tablet, but
gets
not
why
anything.
Superman is so important for the world, and she is happy
At the
to
end of the panel,
make
I'll
the
show you my
sacrifice,
drawing.
as far as one-on-one time and
It's not
family
good.
time
There's a bit of a
as result.
spoiler.
For me,
Josh
I
here with the
say kind of
99
the
super
same
chat.
thing. It wasn't a
Thought about the
particular
version of the character being
story.
better than the other.
Really,
The
for me,
person
what
needs
it
to cast
was when I
needs
went
to
and
nail
met,
their version of the character.
with Greg originally.
I'll
to
agree with
do,
that.
the couple
Well, that's the thing. The
episodes
CW
in
usually
the
always
first place.
casts very, very good
You know, I
leads. They
sat
usually
and
nail the
watched
character.
the first
Yeah.
season
The
of
only real
Supergirl,
exception
and
is
I
pretty
think
much
it hit me
Kate.
at the right time in life, and I think there was an environment at the time that felt like we needed a little bit of hope. We needed a little bit of optimism. And I feel like I had also just kind of been coming out of a cynical phase of life. I went through those years and tried seeing the world through that lens, and I didn't enjoy it very much. So for me, it was just kind of seeing that show and seeing that. I think I felt as if it was a chance for me to jump into something hopeful and optimistic. I think what also goes along with the reality of the situation of where we are today is that you do need hope that we will get to the other side of it and that we will find a way through it. So
That's pretty
first season
good,
of
good
Supergirl.
way of looking at it.
All right, guys. A couple fan questions. Start first with, who are the Superman and Lois in your own lives? And how do your Superman and Lois influence your portrayal?
I don't really care about the answer to that. Double Crit with a $5 super chat. Kind of off topic, but the latest Wonder Woman 84 delay was super disappointing. It's now as many delays as New Mutants, so 2 are due to
now at a
COVID.
moment in history where
I mean,
the profession of journalism is a
they
little
want to
bit
make
underseen.
these movies
Is
make $1
just
billion.
every
I don't think we're going to
journalist
see a
ever
billion dollar
busting
movie for another
their
year.
butt right now.
Doesn't matter how much
and,
they delay it.
Coming under
At this point,
heavy
just
fire from
cut
both
your
sides
losses,
and a lot
release
of
it, and
scrutiny
set
and
your
everything,
expectations
and,
lower.
the fact that there's still.
I mean, are you surprised about all the
not
delays
doing
in
their
films
job.
and stuff? I'm not really surprised.
Yeah,
No, not really.
I second that with you. I think anyone who strives to tell the truth in the face of whatever consequences.
I wish I had my
that
tablet
holds,
nearby. I'd show one of my
I think
drawings,
those are
but
the most,
it's in the other room. I'm not going to go
respectful
get it.
people, and I think Lois falls in that category. For me, anyone can be Superman. I think what makes Superman to me in my eyes is that someone who, without fail, chooses to do the right thing and all the good that they can do. And that's really what it is. And whether that's, saving one person from crossing the street, whether that's saving a falling skyscraper as Superman would do that saves everyone in the building, it's the quality of the efforts and the works, not the quantity. It's not how huge they are, it's just how impactful they are to one person.
So Tyler Hecklin, 2 questions. What was it like putting on the suit for the first time?
This must have been exciting because they say the
are we
test of a
going to
Superman is
see
putting them in the
Superman
suit
getting
and seeing how they look to make
suit?
sure the people don't look silly in the suit.
Yes, I
Yeah,
think putting the
something
suit on
along
for the
those
first time, everything about this, there's been so many times where there's been kind of a surreal moment, but I think putting on the suit for the first time was the most surreal moment, just because any other time that you would be wearing that suit is probably on Halloween.
Jordan, supposedly.
Otherwise,
I mean, he'll probably get some sort of alteration to his suit.
They say it right here.
So I think putting it on and
okay.
actually seeing it and realizing
In a
this is
second.
not just.
Wait, do we
for
get us like a screenshot of it or anything?
No.
Story that involves this character. I don't think that it's sunk in, and if it hasn't by now, it probably never will to some weird degree. But I think being the one wearing it as opposed to seeing someone else in it is a different experience.
Like the symbol itself is so incredibly iconic that I remember when I first started shooting on the show, and it was Elseworlds, and there was a scene with Oliver and the Flash and Grant Gustin and I both were like, we couldn't keep it together when you're wearing a plaid shirt and when you rip it open and it's the S. Like we probably had to do that take quite a few times because everyone's reaction, and like Lois should be used to this, and even I was like
that was a really funny day on set. But that scene, I remember that when we did it and I ripped the shirt up. That's why I said it's different, I think, when you're doing it as opposed to watching someone else do that or being in that.
I will say that Tyler
Hoechlin
Hoechlin is a little bit
almost a
shorter
moment
than
of,
I would
it's
expect
been
from a
done
Superman.
before, and
And that was
know
really
what he
obvious
means.
when he's standing next
So
to
you're
Brandon
like,
Routh.
Is the way I'm doing it weird? Does it look right? I don't really know. But I remember Grant on that.
I guess this
stage.
means
It
no
was a
Superman
freak, and
Brandon
thank God,
Routh
like,
show on
you know,
HBO
first
Max.
thing,
They didn't announce
it
anything
had
about
gone
that.
just into the
So-
S by the time he did this. When I ripped the shirt open, I just remember Grant going off screen. It was this audible inhale, and it was the funniest thing.
Do you think we could still get an
Yeah, we
HBO
have a
Max
strange
show
suit?
based on Superman or no?
Oh, are we gonna see a new suit?
Maybe.
Todd, are we gonna see a new suit?
So okay,
I don't know.
I'll take the heat for this one. You know, it's like originally you came on for the crossovers, and that suit just wasn't built to sustain a series. And I think just in everything that we were talking about earlier, you know, it gave us this fresh slate. Yeah, let's make a new suit. So there's going to be a
He's
really
6
badass
foot, but he looks so
Superman
much
suit
shorter
in this show.
than the other
Um,
characters he's around. Maybe
that
it's I don't know. Maybe
pretty
it's
excited
the
about.
camera angles or whatever.
So there you have it, guys. I just want to thank Todd and Tyler and Bitsy for participating in this.
Is this
panel
it?
talking
Is that the end
about
of the panel?
Yeah.
And
I'll turn it off.
for humoring
All
me
right.
and drawing the Superman shield. It was really
All right. So, anything we want to go over from that panel and discuss? We're getting a new suit, and it sounds like that the show is going to be a more hopeful oriented show than what we're seeing from Superman in the movies. So, I mean, I'm excited for that. I think it's going to be a great show. Not the only thing I'm kind of on the fence about is the balancing of the kids and stuff like that. I think that might get a little weird unless they're going to do sort of a Smallville take on it where the kids are also going to have like their own separate storyline, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what it's going to be. Just imagine like a combination of what Smallville was and then what you'd expect in a normal Superman sort of show sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have my picture.
Oh, all right. Let's see yours.
It's not good.
Oh, there we go. There we go. 2 fish in a yellow pond. All right.
Yep. Oh, in a bowl of urine, whichever
Oh,
it is. It's,
I wasn't gonna say that, but I was thinking it. So I don't think there's any point in watching the Flash panel because you were saying there wasn't really anything.
it's
In there?
not. They don't like. I'm just trying to remember if they actually elaborate on anything. I've got my little notes here. It's a long panel. It's a long panel. I don't think it's really anything worth watching. In it, like it's just like the Godspeed stuff, which is already there.
Mhm.
The gold boots thing is there. I don't know
This
if you want it.
What are you thinking? Like, should we give it a shot or?
I'll bring it up and I'll try and skip forward to where it's worth watching it from.
Okay.
Because a lot of it is just a recap. And they
Yeah,
show the
just
trailer again.
anything that's relevant to because we already saw like half of it. So so a lot of people seem to be like still divided about the whole political stuff on the shows and everything. And I think that's something we're going to have to deal with forever. Like superhero shows are going to cover politics one way or another. I mean, almost every superhero show that I can think of right now, including stuff like The Boys, dives into some sort of socio-political type storyline.
Yeah.
And people were saying Stargirl, I mean, the whole ISA storyline was political to a degree. So skip ahead to the Hartley Sawyer segment. Was there literally a Hartley Sawyer segment?
No, the non-existent one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I brought it up. I skipped forward. It's about 12 minutes post the trailer and all the.
Oh, okay.
season
You're set up
stuff.
to go now?
Yeah,
All right.
I can click play. And,
All right. All right. We're going to do the Flash. Here we go. This is the Flash, but it's the very end.
Talk about what we're seeing there. And when we had the shutdown happen, as unfortunate as it was, we were on the last day of filming for what would have been the 20th episode of last season, which now will become partially the first
Partially
of season
AKA
7.
they're going to remove the Hartley scene.
Hold on. Just quickly. Think Noodle is going on about the Joe storyline. I think people are confused. I think people are saying that the storyline's Black Lives Matter.
It's not.
The story isn't Black Lives Matter. I'm surprised people read that article and took it that way.
Yeah,
I have a
I
feeling
talked
people
about it in
just-
my video. I read the whole article.
Yeah.
It doesn't say anything about that.
Yeah, I saw, and even I made like in my video, and people were going on about. I was like, don't read the article? It's not about that. It's about abuse of power. Abuse of power stretches far beyond Black Lives Matter in any form. It can be abuse of power within the workplace. It could be abuse of power in regards to the Flash literally using metahumans to do something. Someone in
I mean, didn't they say twice in the interview that he mentioned it's going to be done in a way that makes sense for the show, right?
Yeah. So like, I don't know why I think people are just trying to be dramatic and trying to spin it into this like, they're trying to spin Black Lives Matter into it. Just because just because Joe is black doesn't mean it's about Black Lives Matter.
Right.
It's about abuse of power. It's just, I don't want to be offensive, but it's just really stupid when I see people go on about that. It's like, it takes 3 minutes to read that article and you know everything and you know it's not about that.
Hero's Journey, that's the general consensus, is that it is going to have to do with something with the police department and probably metahumans. That seems like the most logical.
That seems
direction.
the most, and in regards, especially it going through multiple episodes.
Yeah, I didn't see Think Noodle's comment.
It's up
right here. The real Joe Real World Story seems like a fake pandering, baiting for clicks throughout the entire series. Joe nor as his race animated part of their characters. So I do believe that that BLM is a reason why the story is being told, but I don't think the story is going to be about BLM. Yeah. So, and some people are not going to like it. I'm willing to give it a shot and see what it is. I mean, I may not like it either, but
the way that Eric talks about it doesn't sound like it's going to be this thing that's shoved in your face. And the fact that it's over multiple episodes seems it's going to go against what we've seen previously with like Arrow's gun control episode. You could argue Supergirl's episodes about Black Lives Matter and even transphobia and stuff like that, where it's in one episode, it's the focus, and it seems arguably heavy-handed in regards to they do that. Not saying it's completely wrong, but in regards to how they do it, because it's like a one-shot. And so they do it like a one-shot thing. Oh, here's the episode. We didn't set it up in the previous episode. Just here it is.
And let's be clear here. I think Eric realizes just taking that one story and sticking it on the Flash won't work. I think he's smart enough to know that. I could be wrong. He could totally do that. But I'm giving him a little bit of credit
and
that he's not.
And Eric says it perfectly. I don't think it's in here. I think it's in like the interview that sort of stems from this. Like, Joe is a good man. Joe isn't someone like what you would have seen in, like, he's not a corrupt cop. He's not a cop that would abuse power. He's someone that would call it out. So it makes sense that he would be the center of that storyline. And you'd see it from his point of view, and he'd be the one that deals and struggles with it, especially seeing that he's captain. So once again, I think it's people wanting to just be angry. I know it's just the thing in modern day. People just want to be angry, but I think the way they're doing it is interesting, because I don't think they can do it in a way that something like Black Lightning addresses social issues. It just wouldn't work on the Flash.
Yeah,
it's
just Zayas here says that. I mean, Black Lightning literally has the perfect show to cover those topics.
Yeah,
it's set up for those kinds of stories.
It's important to remember that Black Lightning does it from the main thing is it's a black family, it's a black POV. The Flash isn't that, so it wouldn't work for the Flash to go about it that way.
Right.
If Black Lightning dealt with it in season 4, it would make sense. But they've been dealing with it since season 1, so it wouldn't be anything new. It'd just be like redoing it if they felt it was necessary. So yeah. Anyway, I just thought I just saw that comment and it sort of annoyed me.
So Hero's Journey says the black screen's happening twice as much now. I'm sorry if you guys are seeing that. I'm not getting anything like that. I had one little hiccup.
I had the stream open on my other screen and I haven't seen it go black at all. It's just,
so you want to just continue on this then?
Yeah. 5% of the footage that we're able to use. Plus, also, we knew where we were going already in season 7. So even though it's only footage really from one episode, pay attention to the way it's presented. It's actually huge spoilers all over the place.
And that sizzle had a lot of Iris in it, a lot of Iris in the Mirrorverse. Candace, I mean, can you sort of, in your mind, I guess, how do you think her time in the Mirrorverse has sort of affected her?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see when she comes out, and I believe she will come out very soon when we pick up season 7. It'll be very interesting to see how she's been affected by being kind of stuck in this maddening world with this super villain. Obviously, Team Flash and Barry were working to get her. It took a while. I don't know if there's some resentment there or what's going on, or if there's even some like residual.
Is that like a nod that there's going to be something like that when she comes out of the mirror world?
And how that affects
I really
her. I
hope
have no
not.
idea. That's kind of up to Eric.
And Danny, the sizzle also showed that there's more to come in the way of Cecile's powers. What can you share about that?
I think that it's fair to say Cecile's powers up until this point have been passive. And I think going forward, we're going to...
I don't know about that. I would probably disagree with that.
More active. We're going to find Cecile...
She's used her powers all the time, not just passively.
And finding her way with it. And possibly getting herself into some trouble in the meantime.
Definitely.
Chester becomes even more integral to Team Flash as sort of Team Flash sort of coming back together. What can you say about Chester's sort of the role that Chester will sort of fill on Team Flash?
What Chester's real superpower is his optimism.
Nash currently has sort of all of the
I just
from
stopped
the
there.
old multiverse in his mind.
That was a weird. Go back. That was a weird
will
edit.
the way
There was something
Wells
else
is
there,
used
obviously.
change for the
Because
Team Flash
it's his
coming
optimism
back
and then
together.
cut.
What can you
That's
say
a hard
about
cut.
Chester's sort of the role that Chester will sort of fill on Team Flash?
What Chester's real superpower is his optimism.
Nash currently
Yeah, he's about to
has
say
sort of
something.
all of the Wells from the old multiverse.
Was it too revealing?
In his mind.
That's weird.
Like,
Maybe he
seven,
spoils
how will the way in which Wells is used change for the show?
I agree, Jordan.
Radically, but super fun, and you're not going to see it coming.
Ooh.
I love the Allegra and Nashville's relationship so much. It was one of the
I know you love it, Eric,
joys
but so
when
many
the dailies
people
would
that
come
I
back
talk
and
to
would see
don't
these
like it for
wonderful
whatever
actors.
I thought
reason.
you loved it.
Kind of
I'm not
getting
gonna
to
go
know
that
each
far.
other from early
Not going that
on,
far.
and then
Top 10
exorcism
memes
of
that
Nashville's
Eric loves.
learning why they kind of have this relationship. So there'll be more of that.
Preview show that sort of Barry is sort of working as hard as he can to get his powers back, get his speed back. I mean, for you, do you think
Is he sitting in an Olive Garden or something? What is up with that
any part of
background?
not having his speed at this point, or
It's like
do you think he
fake
really
plants,
does
it looks like, all over the walls.
just really misses it? I guess.
Yeah, no, I think he really just misses it. I don't think, especially with Iris.
I
being
love that
trapped in
Grant
the
is
Mirrorverse at the
comfortable,
moment, and then
like
Eva
dressing
being a
very
factor.
sloppily,
I don't
like
think
even
any
on
part
these
of him has been like,
interviews and
well,
stuff. It's very
I guess
funny.
I'll just enjoy this.
He just doesn't. He's a dude
downtime
that's
while I
very
can.
down to
I
earth. He
think
doesn't really care.
genuinely not just wants his powers back, but he feels that he needs them back, and he's also started to feel that they define him, and what is he without them? Yeah, I mean, it's taking a toll on him, it just mentally.
Big bads for season 7. Eric, what can you tease about who these new, or who I guess at least the first one, who they will be, and what and how they will sort of challenge Team Flash in a new way?
Wow, I don't like spoilers. Let's just say there was a certain speedster who wore a white costume whose clones kept showing up, and it really Team Flash had to deal with that, but we never caught the real guy or girl.
Ooh.
Who knows?
Or girl. It's gonna be
Maybe we might
Nora.
find out that
Nora confirmed as Godspeed.
Spoiler. I mean, without spoiling it
It's
for
Onion
you,
at Black.
what makes Godspeed an interesting villain for you?
It's future Iris.
On, I guess, without getting into sort of what the
Oh.
show can do with it, but it's like coming to the season, what was it about Godspeed? You're like, oh, there's something there.
No, it's displaced Earth 2 Iris during Crisis. So it's the cop Iris, which lines up with August Hart from the comics because he was a cop, but it's now her. She's Godspeed. And that's why she attacked Nora in the future, because it was the doppelganger of her own daughter from the future.
Okay.
We figured it out. We figured
So
it
if
out.
it's a female Godspeed, would it be Goddess Speed?
No, that's why it's Godspeed, because it includes the letters for goddess.
It's like
if you
it's
couldn't
like a combo
spell.
thing. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for those that just needed the
I will agree that Earth 2 Iris was better than Earth 1 Iris, but yeah,
well,
it is what it is.
prepare for some angry people.
I
in
know.
the mentions on Twitter.
I'm just saying.
Two things. One, the current run of the comics that Joshua is writing is terrific, and I want to make sure that new fans, especially new young fans who are reading the comic book right now, are welcomed to the show. So it's not just Silver Age villains and Bronze Age villains. There might be a young girl or a young boy who is reading those Flash comics right now and going, where's my villain, my generation's villain?
Who is this guy anyway?
An old family friend. His name's Godspeed.
Eric about to get demonetized. He's just.
I want that same experience for a young
Why
person.
am I
now
going to
to go,
demonetize? What did I do?
I thought you were watching that clip from the show going, I hope that doesn't get claimed.
Oh, it shouldn't. That doesn't have that's show music. It should be fine, right? Who knows?
Who
If we didn't get
Knows?
shut down, hopefully that doesn't happen.
He's only 8 years. He's only been around for 5 or 8 years or so. So bringing him in is very important to me to expand the audience. That's number one. 2, Godspeed, unlike say Reverse Flash, has no emotional connection, supposedly, right?
Oh,
to the Flash.
confirmed Iris.
The
Confirmed it's
question
gonna be
is,
Iris.
why is Godspeed angry at the Flash? We got to keep the show fresh.
He
We've
stole
got more
his
to say.
memes.
In light of everything that's happened recently, we have 2 characters on the show, Barry and Joe, who work for the police department. And have you sort of thought about how you're going to approach their
Here we
jobs
go.
in this coming
Here we
season?
go.
Think Noodle
Maybe
get
change or
triggered?
Maybe not.
The world right now is on fire. We have to look at what's around us. It definitely informs specifically Joe's story this season, but in a good way and in a positive way, because we need to be socially responsible as artists.
See, he keeps
Yes, I love
smiling,
comic
and they
books
use the
and
word
Flash,
fantastic
but
and amazing.
I'm a
and,
person first.
You know,
we have to be.
I'm
people
wondering
first
how
and
they're
work
going to handle the
together to make
story.
the world a better
Honestly,
place. I believe that. That's where those changes are coming from. So yeah, you'll notice some changes, definitely.
And with that, let's move on to some fan questions.
Epic.
Hi, I'm Sammy, and this is my question. How is Nashville's going to adjust with all of the new Harrisons in his mind?
What's it like having a million wells in your head? You're going to find out real fast.
For Grant, which from all over the world wanted to know this, when will we get to see the Flash in the iconic gold boots?
Oh, here we go.
This might be a question for me, but really it's for Eric because
Oh, I think we saw this part already.
Saying too much.
No, it's
if it
extended
were up
here.
to me, it would have been like 2 seasons ago. So I think Eric's gonna have to answer this one.
Yeah, well, Grant and I have talked extensively about this. For the record, I love gold boots too, right? I just think they must be earned, right? So it's like, when's the right time to unleash them? I think a story is the best way to unleash them. So I'm determined to get you your gold boots, Grant. I promise.
He's got to go shoe shopping first.
It will.
The story is the trip to the shoe
Christmas
store.
is always a good time to give gifts.
And from South Africa, this is a 2-part question. First, as the leader of Team Citizen, how will we see Team Citizen evolve once the show returns?
I don't know. That's more of a question for Eric.
Yes, you'll see much more of Team Citizen investigating a very specific.
Everybody
thing
was kind
that
of
can't
joking on the
talk
name
about
Team Citizen, weren't they? Because they
terrible,
thought
but
it was
it's
kind of
true,
corny.
it's true. But
Well, I
they've
don't
got
know
a
what
lot of
else you can
fallout
call
because the leader of Team Citizen is in the Mirrorverse. So what's been going on with Team Citizen while she's been gone? I think they need to start there.
And the second part of that
That
question
doesn't
is,
sound
can
very
we
exciting to
expect
me,
see
but
more of the
okay.
mentorship relationship between Iris and Allegra in more of the Team Citizen office?
I hope so. I would expect so. I think if we're going to be spending a lot of work time together, I think it's only natural for 2 women to have an evolving relationship. And I think we've already kind of seen that grow in season 6. And I hope there's more of that in season 7. I think it's a great opportunity for a really beautiful female relationship and friendship.
What could need our attention more than this?
Eric getting demonetized in 3.
I
Two.
know, it's coming. It's gonna happen.
Right. I mean, no
Wait.
one wants to find out what happened to Esperanza more than me, but
Wait. This wasn't the real
This is
Iris, was
really
it? This
what
was
matters
Mirror
the
Iris,
most
correct?
right now.
So this is even a scene between her and Iris.
I
This
don't
is the
know,
fake
was it?
Iris. I think it's the fake Iris.
Photos.
No, this is
I have a stakeout date.
that's the real Iris, I think.
Was it right before she went in the Mirrorverse?
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to
I
that.
think.
And I think it's got to happen.
I
Right?
can't.
Especially
I'm
as
so
we
confused.
extended
Carlos hasn't said
story,
anything.
Iris' story.
All
I
of his
think this is
stuff
the
was
first
before when they
time
were
Iris has
talking
ever
about
had
season
someone
6.
come under her,
okay.
Right? So
Yeah.
this is a really good opportunity.
He talked a
for
lot, actually, I
lots of
think.
new fun stuff.
Last season,
Same with Brandon
we got to
McKnight,
see
Chester,
some romantic
talking,
moments
and same with
between Barry
Allegra.
and
They all
Iris,
talked
even though it was
back
Mirror
then,
Iris,
and Danielle.
Mirror Iris. Will we get to see more of that with the real Iris this season? And this question comes from Jamaica.
Iris will be getting out
Jamaican
of the
me
Mirrorverse shortly after we
crazy.
return with season 7. So regardless of what exactly that's going to entail, we're going to see them together a lot more next year than we did last year.
They will find their way back to each other eventually. A lot of the romance
double crit.
and the chemistry between her and
Eric
I has
speaking
always
about
been
bacon.
something.
We will find
it's
each.
the way we look at each other.
We
and
will
the
find our
the
way back
characters
to
are
each
written.
other.
And Grant, this one's for you. We have some amazing Flash
Fan art.
and cosplayers
Here we
for
go.
you.
Okay, guys, right now I'm looking at a cosplay fan art of Vladimir Morisot. I hope I'm saying that right. It's from
That's actually
California.
pretty good.
And this thing
Wow.
is epic. Honestly, he's
Epic,
got a
that's
better
my word.
superhero pose than I think I've ever had for a Flash photo shoot. So I could learn a thing or two from Vladimir, I think. All right, I love this one by Shannon
that's a good one, too.
Beltran from the UK. It's me and my bud Wally, Keenan.
They did
Lonsdale.
Wally
I
so
love
dirty.
this
I wish they would have
moment
kept him
when we
around. It was
reunited
so
and we did our
cool
fist
when
bump.
he came back.
It was scripted as a fist bump, which we were happy to do, but then we were like, I'm hugging Keenan. This is awesome.
Okay.
Good job, Shannon.
So the hug was
Hamlet
them.
Roman
Nice.
from Colombia. Awesome image of Barry, myself as Barry,
What suit is
running up a
that? Is that like the
building.
season 3
and
suit?
a season two suit, I
Okay.
believe. Season 2, season 3. This thing.
Well,
is
yeah,
really
they were the
cool.
same. Season 2 and 3
You
were pretty
guys are
much the same
talented.
suit.
Well, that'll do it for us today. Thank you all for joining me for this panel. I had a really good time. For
Is that
everyone
it?
watching,
That's pretty much it.
please make sure you
Wait,
do
hold
the
on.
Flash when it returns in 2021. And again, remember that the
No Ralph on the
Flash,
cover.
Oh,
is
gosh.
available now on digital and comes out.
No. They just took Ralph out completely. Oh, jeez. All right. So, any thoughts on that? Gold boots, Godspeed. What do you think?
Some of the Nash stuff was interesting. Like, we won't see what's happening with Nash. We won't see it coming, and then he's going to be dealing with all the multiverse Welleses in his head.
Mhm.
I'm interested to see what the hell the storyline would be around him getting gold boots. Hopefully, it's not the storyline just on that. Hopefully, it's a storyline that leads into that. So it's something else, but it involves, at the end, him getting the gold boots.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna do another panel, guys. That's a lot. It's already coming up on 2 hours. I'll probably cover the Stargirl stuff in a video, but I don't think we'll make everybody sit through another panel unless it's like 15 minutes, and I don't think it is. I think it's a long panel, isn't it?
I don't know. Let's have a look. Can we find anything #epic for us to enjoy?
If it's more than like 15 minutes, I don't know if we're gonna sit through the whole thing. The Cupid panel. Giovanni always trolling. Where's the Cupid panel?
There's this. Hold on.
I think they're dropping the Green Arrow and Canaries for something with the Black Canary. I don't think the Green Arrow and Canary show is going to happen, guys. Honestly. Tell me when you're ready.
Yeah, put it on.
What is this? Is this a separate thing?
Yeah, you guys for a minute.
We're gonna do something cool. It's not really.
Why
my
is this
character doing
separate?
something,
This is
but
weird.
Something that happens with my character on like the first page of our episode back that we had talked about for a while. So yeah, they'll see right away what I'm talking about. But it's a cool new feature that we're introducing into the show for the Flash.
A cool new feature.
Yeah.
Any idea what that is?
I don't know. I'm not too sure what it could be.
A
Maybe
feature?
like Speed Force visions? Or no, a feature.
Is it
like-
going to be okay? So is it going to be one of those things like, and I'm probably really dating myself here when it comes to like, times and stuff. But at the end of the old G.I. Joe cartoons, they do like a 30-second to a minute long like PSA, like, and this is why you shouldn't litter or something like
No,
that.
I think it's a feature for
Okay.
the Flash as a character.
Okay.
So I'm not too sure what it could.
How can they do that in the beginning of the next episode when they don't even have a Speed Force yet?
It might. I think it might be the first episode that they're going to film when they come back. So that would be episode 2, I think.
Yeah. No talk of the Reverse Flash at all. I'll be honest, I don't know if Eric Wallace is a fan of that character. I get the impression that he's not, because they've done so much with him so far. So I don't know. I just get the impression that he's not a fan of that character. I don't know. I could be wrong. What about the gold boots? What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, I've been waiting for them, so it'd be interesting to see how they look when they eventually do them.
So Tomo, I know you said this a couple times. I can assure you that we will never, ever, ever, ever get any kind of conversation with the people involved with the Flash TV show, the Hartley Sawyer connection to Ezra. I know it makes a lot of people mad. I get it. I understand that people are frustrated with it. They're not going to ever address it. It's never going to be a thing. And if it does ever come out, comments about that come out, it will be like when the show is over and people are no longer connected with the properties. They're just not. If they haven't addressed it by now, they're just not going to address it. What I think people don't really understand, and I thought about this the other day with the whole Hartley situation, is I think the biggest problem is all it takes is one person on that set to say they're uncomfortable working with him, and that's it. He can't work there again. All it takes is one person. So no matter how much we think it's unfair or that Hartley shouldn't have been let go or whatever, if it was one, everyone could have been like, we love Hartley, right? Well, 99.9% people could have said we love Hartley. But if one person said that they felt that he had done something inappropriate or they felt uncomfortable with him, they literally can't have him back. And I know that's not the answer that everybody wants to hear, and that's not like a huge revelation or anything like that, but it's just the way it is. And the whole Ezra thing, again, is a situation where the person that was in the video doesn't want to pursue anything with it. Unless that person comes forward and says, yeah, I want to press charges or something, I don't think it's ever going to be addressed. And this is like the third time I think we've talked about it. And I get that people are mad about it. It's just, it is an unconnected thing that is never going to be something that they address from Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what you guys like, what a lot of people expect. I liked Hartley. I think that he did a great job on the show. I just think it would have been impossible. If cameraman B said that Hartley did something wrong, they couldn't have him back. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Does that sound accurate to you? I mean, I feel like that's probably what happened. They probably,
it's pretty much, they probably would have done. I think it would have been mainly with the cast, and I have a feeling that they would have had to 100% been on board with him coming back. And it just, if there was any hesitation, they would have been okay, no.
Yeah, I agree, Haley. The Amber Heard stuff is a little weird.
Well, someone said, like, I think it was Think Noodle said, besides the choking, Ezra is bad as the Flash regardless. I think that's a lot of the reason people are blowing up about the choking thing as so much as well.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not saying it was right. Like, I think there should be some sort of investigation into it.
I agree. I totally agree.
But I think a lot of people were jumping on it and saying, "Oh, he needs to go right now," without any proper investigation because they didn't like him as the Flash. But the thing is, it's going to be very like Warner Brothers is in a very hypocritical situation with a lot of that stuff that's going on because it seems to be like no word on Amber Heard not being in Aquaman 2. She says she's in it. And it's meant to start filming next year sometime, so she's going to be in it apparently. And then there's the Ezra Miller situation. The Amber Heard one's obviously much more public. But
is it possible that Warner Brothers or somebody within Warner Brothers reached out to the people in the Ezra situation, and after they had a conversation with them, they determined that there was nothing wrong, and then they just decided to let it go?
That might have been the case, but the issue is that the bar in question said what happened was real.
No, I'm not discrediting that. I'm saying, what if Warner Brothers reached out to the person that posted the video and they're like, yes, it happened. No, we're not going to pursue charges and we don't want to talk about this anymore or whatever.
Could have been like, then, hey, here's $20,000.
Yeah, I mean, it totally could have been. But the point is, if it disappeared, however that happened, I think by now, if it hasn't been addressed, Ezra's people aren't commenting on it. The people who posted the video aren't commenting on it
now. No,
right?
Yeah, they would have. He would have been replaced. He wouldn't have been a Fandom and everything.
So Cam, here's the thing. It seems hypocritical from the outside because we don't know all the details. Like I said earlier, all it takes is one person. Like if Ezra Miller if this person had pursued charges against Ezra, and then somebody else on the cast made a big stink about working with him, we probably would have seen something happen.
Yeah, and it's also important to remember those situations are different. Hartley stuff would have affected people that he works with. Amber Heard stuff doesn't, unless she's working with Johnny Depp.
And even can you even imagine? Okay, so think about all the people who are upset about Ezra right now. Can you imagine if Ezra backed up Ray? Like if he did like an I stand with Ray Fisher hashtag or something, like would that not blow everybody's minds? You'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Like that would be crazy.
Even if Ben Affleck did as well, because Ben Affleck doesn't have the most clean history either.
Yeah, I saw your super chat, Gary, and thank you for the 199 super chat. You watched, assuming you sat and you watched the panel with us. They did not talk about that.
Yeah.
So
Gary, I can tell you right now, the Flash will not be delayed.
Right.
They can't afford for it to be delayed. It won't be delayed.
Yeah. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. But yeah, TV shows. So here's the thing. Movies, very likely to be delayed. TV shows, not so likely to be delayed. We will have like so much TV content next year because they're finding ways to film things. Movies, on the other hand, they're worried about making their money back in theaters. TV shows have the benefit of showing up on TV. So Camilla, if it would take us like another half an hour to get involved, like to explain everything that happened with Amber and Johnny Depp, like just type in that on Google and there's like probably a million articles that actually cover that. As far as Sky Jackson or whatever, I believe somebody was asking about that. That was just something that was going on Twitter for a while where she was kind of like, I don't want to say haphazardly, but I guess that's probably apt, calling people out for stuff. And a couple of them actually ended up being the wrong people.
And
so
them.
Yeah. So that kind of ended after
even if the person the person that did it, doxing is still illegal. So
yeah,
the fact that she wasn't charged is a bit questionable.
Right. So yeah. So ultimately, I don't agree with cancel culture. I think cancel culture can be extremely toxic.
Yeah.
But in the case of Hartley Sawyer, I think it was a combination of cancel culture and somebody on set that didn't want to work with him again.
Yeah. Like cancel culture really shouldn't exist. It should be, if you get exposed, you get educated on what was wrong there.
Right.
I think if you believe in cancel culture, you're probably part of the problem. You should believe in education around what was done wrong or what you don't understand and various things like that.
I've always said cancel culture, if it existed to better people, I could get on board with it. If it existed to literally get rid of people, I can't get on board with that. Because I would rather someone be a better person. Like if you get in trouble, and excuse my language here, for some shit you did like back in the day, and people come forward and say, hey, this is wrong. Why did you do it? And then you give them an excuse to say you're going to do better. You should literally have the opportunity to show people that you can be better. Yeah, if you get called out on it and you don't, then absolutely cancel that person.
Yeah, like what's the point of making a mistake if you can't learn from it?
That's exactly why so many people don't want to admit to making mistakes, is they're afraid they're going to get canceled.
Yeah.
So you ignore it. Like cancel culture breeds covering things up. If cancel culture didn't exist in the way it did, then things that people do wrong, they'd be more likely to say, you know what, I screwed up. You know, that's the way I feel, and move forward.
Let's be completely honest. To break it all down, the people that believe in cancel culture are the people that have nothing going in their lives. Yeah. Let's be completely honest. So they want to tear down people that have something going on, because to be canceled, you have to be canceled from something. You have to have something to lose to be canceled. So usually the people that are trying to cancel are the people that have nothing going on.
Right.
That's probably the best way to put it.
Tomo says, do you think ratings will be down for the season? I guess you're talking about like all shows or maybe just The Flash or whatever. I'm going to say it would be very shocking with the lack of stuff we have right now for all of these shows to come back next year and be extremely low in the ratings. But we also have to remember live ratings don't really matter anymore. So if you're looking at something like the TV line articles and stuff that show the numbers and things like that, those numbers, they do play a part, but they're not the determining factor on whether or not a show is considered successful anymore. So we talked about this last year. It's one of the things I subtracted. This was highly controversial. I stopped covering numbers in my weekly videos, my mega videos, because I found they were redundant. Like, why keep talking about them? They didn't matter. Shows were getting renewed at the mid-season.
Well,
so everything past that doesn't even matter.
That Dynasty show on CW was getting renewed when it got like 400,000 people watching it a week. And that's because it has deals in place for international, and also I think it did well on streaming. Because people watch it on their iPads and stuff like that. It's very important to remember. Nowadays, a lot of people watch their stuff on an iPad, so they'll have the CW app there, and they'll go, okay, well, it's available when I wake up in the morning. Click on it, and they watch the Flash, Supergirl, whatever it might be, or whatever other show on another network.
Right.
Those are the numbers, and like they would know the numbers. They, I'm sure, know how many people are clicking and watching, or at least some sort of watch time on the app in a certain section. So yeah, like you see people like remember like the Batwoman stuff. Oh my god, it's dropped this much percent. It's like, yeah, because people watching it on the app or something.
You know,
like
I'll be honest,
it trended every week.
I watched Black Lightning exclusively online. Like I didn't really watch it live. I would watch it later on, you know, like whenever I felt I could, streaming like overnight or whatever, because I just preferred to watch that show that way. Just like I watch, there's so many shows that I like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I watched exclusively on Hulu because I didn't want to watch ads. Well, I have the Hulu plan without ads, so I could watch it without ads. I think streaming is like, it's so popular now. It's going to get even more popular next year, guys.
Yeah.
So
it's just like, because you got to remember, like sometimes some households only have one proper TV or a big TV or something like that, especially like during the week, like every single time. Let's just say like when the Flash is on, or even when like Supergirl on a Sunday night or Batwoman on a Sunday night. Like Sunday night would be competitive because of sport and stuff like that. But then like even like during the week there'd be other shows, even if it's something as simple as like America's Got Talent. That's a family show that like everyone, like a 3-year-old kid could watch, or 60-year-old grandmother. You know, so that show will probably get precedence over on a household's television. So it's more competitive, but that's what streaming allows. Someone can go watch it 12, 24, a week later on streaming, and it still counts those numbers.
Right.
So, like, what do you want to call it?
Right.
Okay,
See,
those figures that always come out.
So, Tomo here, Batwoman, the streaming views for Batwoman were through the roof, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, and it's also important to remember it doesn't really matter because that was a pilot episode. It's not like it was episode 1 of season 2,
right?
And it started at that. That was episode 1 of season 1. That literally happens with every show.
We also have to remember these lucrative deals with things like Netflix and HBO Max and you know, CBS All Access. These shows that have these connected deals, they're not pulling views from just one place. They're pulling views from multiple sources. So you literally have to hunt down all the places that it's going, hopefully get the accurate numbers, and then put them together. And the only people that really care about that are the advertisers. So ultimately, if the advertisers are satisfied with the numbers they're seeing and the subscription services are satisfied with the money they're making, that's all that matters. A really good example of this is DC Universe. DC Universe is a streaming service that, for all intents and purposes, is a failure. I mean, you see that it didn't work out, and they had to start like
they're making an announcement next week about it. I think they're going to announce it's going comics. Jim Lee posted a thing on. I'll try and bring up the tweet, and I can put it on screen. Because he didn't say what it was, but he put a picture there, which pretty much confirmed what it was.
Right.
Where is it? Here we go.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind it going comics. Literally, I read more comics on that app than I ever watch shows. Honestly. So I've spent more hours on the DC Universe app reading comic books than anything else. Charles here has a question. It says, if Ezra gets fired, should the TV show bring him back as a post-Crisis Avatar? That's a lot of stuff happening there. Honestly, it's a lot of connective things. No, they won't bring him back as a Savitar because I don't think Ezra will suffer. If he were to get fired from The Flash, he's a movie star. He does a lot of like independent stuff. I don't think it's going to matter much. So is this something you want me to add here?
Yeah.
All right.
So they went, congrats to Doom Patrol for season 3, pick up HBO Max. Stay tuned next week for big news about DC Universe and its exciting future. And he posted a picture of literally comics.
Okay.
So that pretty much,
yeah.
Look at this person down here. Insert name here. You're shutting down DC Universe, aren't you? Yeah, because its exciting future would be it getting closed down. Who's this? Glockmed. Or Geo Ahmed. Look at that. What's that response? It's like, read, bro. He said it's exciting future. Getting shut down ain't that interesting.
Yeah. All right.
Some of these responses.
Are you trying to put people on blast? Is that what's happening here on Twitter?
Well, sometimes you
people on blast. We should do a weekly live stream and just go through Twitter. That would be funny and read responses.
Do I type in Snyder Cut?
No, don't. Let's close it now. So I'm totally, you know what? I would be willing if they're going to keep the price point below where it is now, because I already pay for Marvel Unlimited. I think it's like $6 a month or something for Marvel Unlimited. It might even be more than that. I'm willing to pay money for access to comics. And if they're going to expand their comic book library on DC Universe, I will keep my subscription. I won't get rid of it because I read a lot of comics on there. And if you give me access to some shows, that's fine too. I think most of them are probably going to move to HBO Max, but I still feel like I'd pay for a comic book subscription. I totally would. So yeah, I don't have a problem with that at all. I think that's great. Plus, we've already heard, didn't they say they were shutting down a lot of their print titles? So I think they're just moving everything over to digital. So if you guys love comic books and you want to support comic books, get the DC Universe app. Hopefully it makes it international too, so people around the world can get it.
So the biggest issue was the content licenses, how they licensed Titans out to Netflix. As soon as that happened, the service with the video was never going to go international. I don't know why people kept asking as well. I was like, as soon as that happened, it was never going to go international.
Right.
I don't know why they kept saying, oh, we're coming international soon. It's like, stop lying.
Right.
But with this, it'll just be like Marvel Unlimited. It'll be interesting to see. I'm hoping, because like for me, like if I go Comixology,
I like Comixology, but they're more of an independent thing unless you buy the
like
issue.
if I go Comixology here, I'm trying to see price wise what it is for me as an Australian. So if I go like what's X-Force number 12 is here. I think it's $4.
Let me see what my Marvel Unlimited
$4. I know, sorry, this is American anyway. So like for me, a single issue is USD to AUD. So a single issue in American money is $5.50 for me. It's $5.50 for a single issue. I'm hoping that because they wouldn't have to go through Comixology or anything like that, if they do the DC Universe, if they have the new comics there and it's like, 25% off or something like that. So instead of $4 to get the comic, it's $3.
Tomo, I am about 5 or 6 episodes past where I was, so I don't think I'm there yet, but I'll be there soon because I'm watching multiple episodes a week so I can like space them out. So Marvel Unlimited for me in US is $10 a month. It's $9.99. I'd be willing to pay that for DC Universe if it was like access to the majority of their comic book library. So
and maybe there's like a 6-month thing. So once a comic's been out for 6 months, it goes on the app.
Right. Adam Grunther with a $4.99 super chat for Legends Season 6. They say they're introducing a character called Esperanza Cruz. Could this be their own? Was that on the panel?
Yeah, it's like some space thing. I don't think it's her.
Let me say this. As much as I would love to have a Green Lantern on the Arrowverse shows, I don't see how they could do one at the level that you need it to happen for to be as awesome as it needs to be. I think the HBO Max ones are going to be more of that. So I will withhold my excitement for this character until I see something more. Are you excited about this if they are going to do a Green Lantern thing?
Well, it won't be Green Lantern. I'm not going to bother getting excited.
I think we're more likely to see like an Alan Scott Green Lantern character on Stargirl before we see something on the TV shows, I think, on the Arrowverse shows. So Laura here says, do you think Julie and Sophia will leave at the end of season 2 because of the villain? I think if they were ever going to leave or be gone from the show, they could have just done it now when they came back into season 2. So I think they're going to try and drag them out as long as they can. Probably. Do you have any thoughts on that? Yes, no?
Oh, you could argue maybe they want to give them some closure this season before getting rid of them. But you wouldn't upgrade it to a series regular. That Julia character.
Right. All right. Well, I think we've gone pretty long, 2 hours and 12 minutes. That's it's a really long time for us normally for streaming. So, but we had a lot of stuff to cover. We could have done more, but I feel like that based on what we've seen. So before we go, let's just talk about this as the whole DC fandom thing in general, because now we've had both parts. We've had them one way, we've had them another way. I was very underwhelmed by what we got today. I think there was a lot of filler content and not a lot of real information. Did you expect more, or is this kind of what you were expecting from Fandom in the second part?
No, it's pretty much what I was expecting. It was like for the fans. It wasn't meant for like commercial as I said, the average Joe. It was meant for the fans. So like, not to hashtag dab on the person I'm named after, but Canada Grass wasn't happy with it. I saw it on Twitter, but that's because he isn't a DC fan. He's just like that general consumer. But like you and I are DC
edgy.
So I'm sitting there going like, well, yeah, this is exactly what I thought it'd just be like for people that want to know little intricacies about the shows and details from the comics and stuff like that. Like I watched the Three Jokers panel, and they explained that various things.
I'm definitely going to watch more panels tonight before this thing goes away.
Yeah,
I just
like it's still up. Like the thing is, I can watch it like in a couple of hours.
Yeah,
there's only a couple more I want to watch. There's like
I'll say the only thing I'm really disappointed about is we didn't get a Batwoman suit reveal,
but I'm not. I think that's okay because they hadn't done the costume fitting yet, so that's fine. I think they've done a Superman suit fitting though.
I would have liked to have seen. They could have at least shown concept art. Like that's what they could have done. That.
Well, maybe they don't. You know? Sometimes they don't like the concept art getting out there. They prefer the concept art to come after the fact. It's pretty rare you see concept art come out before. The only time you ever see it come out before was I think Arrow used to do it. I think but they've only done it a couple of times. I think they showed
Vaseline.
Laurel's
that's a bit hyperbolic. It was one like joke. Come on. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyways, yeah. Anyway, Vaseline can keep talking to the brick wall that he's talking to. Anyway, yeah, like I think they revealed. I think for last season, might have been the season before. I think it was last season for Arrow's last season. They revealed the Diggle and Laurel concept art before we saw their stuff in the trailer. I think it was. But they tend to not like putting out the concept art before the actual suit. Dabbing on the haters.
So I would say that I was a little underwhelmed only because I would have liked a little bit more, but I think as a actual like I don't know, you know me, I'm always got to be edgy and nitpicking or whatever. So for me, I wanted a little bit more. So
if this was D23, Eric would have been like, "Oh, whoa, 10 out of 10, just 10 out of 10."
Absolutely perfect. I actually was going to be super edgy and wear a Marvel shirt while we were talking today, but then I was like, no, I don't want to do that.
You're going to say you're going to wear a mask.
No, a Marvel shirt.
I was going to be edgy and wear a mask.
Think Noodle, I believe it is. I think it's available the whole time the event is going on if you want to watch it.
Yeah. It's there.
Any more questions here? Charles B wants to know about your flashback series, I guess.
I was actually thinking about it the other day. I've got my notes written up. I got not all of them. Sorry, I got to write up like the last fifth of it or something. I don't know. Soon there's a lot of time until the show comes out. I didn't want to do too many episodes of it, but I should have. I didn't want to. I probably did too close to each other at the beginning, but it'll eventually come out. Once the news get through all this news that's coming out, I'll probably jump on it.
So everybody asking about other panels, we're not going to actually watch any more panels because I feel like there's a lot of fluff in the panels, but you guys can go and watch them. I will probably do videos on anything that's yeah, go ahead.
Will you do a reaction to the Legends blooper reel?
Wait, is there one out there?
It's in the panel apparently, the blooper reel.
Oh, well then probably.
Oh,
why not? So
put your belts on.
The Man of Tomorrow spoiler review. We'll talk about it again next week if anybody has questions about it. We wanted to, because this is a free weekend for people that haven't seen it.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, go watch it.
I actually would have waited. I didn't realize it.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was on there either. And then after, literally the day after I bought it, I saw that it was on the thing.
Yeah. So if you haven't watched Superman Man of Tomorrow, go over to the Fandom and watch it for free. Before it goes away. It's a really, really great movie. I think a lot of people enjoy it. Laura, my worst Flash videos. I'm just trying to space them out. We have a lot of time.
Well, don't guess what next. Guess what is next? Is it Run Iris Run?
I'm not going to confirm that or not.
Not going to confirm,
but it
or
could
deny.
be. It could be.
Give me my money, Eric. Give me my money.
Would we like Fandom to be a live event or stay online? I think if they start charging for it, it won't matter what we want.
They'll do it. They'll try and that. They won't want to wreck that Comic-Con thing. The thing is, if Fandom's a thing, it'll be like at the end of the year maybe, and they turn into like a D23 thing. But it's important to remember D23 is for all of Disney. It's not just for Marvel.
Yeah.
So, and they won't want to ruin that Comic-Con connection unless AT&T wants to do it. Like the people at DC, like Jim Lee wouldn't want to break that Comic-Con partnership.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. Who knows? The thing is, I don't know. I personally don't see them at least keeping it online. Like I could see them making it maybe like a physical event because I think people would turn up for it, especially if you knew you were going to get some cool stuff if you went.
Yeah, Tomo, dropping F-bombs in videos is a quick way for YouTube to shut you down now, so don't expect that anytime soon. I don't mind it, but yeah, excessive amounts of it will get you basically blacklisted from their algorithm. So that's pretty much it. We're going to head out, guys. I'm going to watch some more of the panels and make some videos. So expect a few videos after this. If you didn't get to see this all the way through, hopefully it'll be available on playback. We'll see what happens with with YouTube. Who knows? But yeah, it should be available very soon. Thank you so much, Australia Graphs.
No worries. Thank you to Eric for coming to our office because I've just given him a thinly veiled threat to his career. And yeah, go Whedon.
Right. We're out of here. We'll see you guys on the after party on Tuesday. So take care, everybody. See you then.